Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
I just hit record as soon as you walk in the door.
Got you.
That way, if you say anything crazy, I can already get it.
Dennis Rodman has a coochie.
What if he does? Isn't that crazy?
He's probably gonna die.
What do you mean? What?
He's probably gonna die.
What happened to him?
Dennis Rodman, he's not been taking care of himself. He's been in rehab like so many times.
Well, I mean, we all know that Dennis Rodman is like, the ultimate party animal back in his day, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was still having issues.
Oh God, yes. Like I don't think it ever stops when you're on that type of pedestal with like that type of like background. I don't think it ever calms down.
Well, I mean, I guess if I had women just like throwing themselves at me all the
Yeah.
time, it'd be an issue for me as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna indulge no matter like if it's readily available to me. Like, why would you not?
That guy, he has an interesting like career too, because his whole thing was, I'm just going to sacrifice my body to do whatever I need to do for the team. So it's almost like he has that like, I don't know, there's something about it. It's interesting. He was on a very good team too.
Yeah, and I watched that special on Netflix about Michael Jordan or the Bulls in general, and they talk about like why they introduced him to the team and like what his whole point for being on the team was to like get those rebounds and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's a sweet fucking gig. All I have to do is like get the ball whenever it bounces off the rim and just be ruthless when I do it. Give it.
Done, yeah. And you'll pay me millions for this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Give it to me right now. I'll do that for half the money.
Malcolm Ross.
Yeah, also known as at Black Magic on all social media platforms. That's like my.
What is it? At Black Magic?
At Black, like at symbol BLAKKK_MAGI.
Go ahead and pull that up closer to you a little bit.
Oh, M.
You can just pull this up to you. You don't have to lean up for.
Got you.
At Black Magic.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a pretty dope name. Like, have you ever has Black Magic cameras ever looked out to you and been like, yo, dude, we want to buy this shit from you?
No, because like the whole reason I don't think anybody would ever want to touch it is because the triple Ks. Like anytime I
No, you crazy.
anytime I tell people like this is my artist name, this is my like online persona. But yeah, they see the triple Ks and they're like, what the fuck? Why you have 3 Ks on each of your names? I'm like, because that's the point. You see it, it pops out. And
It does, yeah. Especially an African American guy doing that too.
Yeah,
I think that's the way we should treat like all like stupid racist shit. Is just like own it.
Yeah.
Be like, if it's mine now, It's crazy that we still have this like issue. And I think it's all just a manufactured thing, if I'm being quite honest. I forgot I was having this conversation with the other night, but we were talking about how like, this bar right here is like a melting pot of everything.
Oh yeah. I think that's part of the reason I come here.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to meet.
But I think this is also like a metaphor for the way like, life should be. And I think that these social media platforms, they're the ones actually spreading the racism. Like, I don't think
1,000%.
Yeah, because if you come to this city right here, everyone just gets along, man. It's dope.
For the most part, we do have the most murders.
That's because it's a poverty rate.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. From moving from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, it's so different, and it's really weird.
What do you mean? Tell me.
There's a lot of drugs here. There are way more drugs here in New Orleans than there are in Baton Rouge, and there's way more drug addicts here than there are. And it's just there's so many things here in New Orleans that you can get into that if you don't control it can instantly destroy your life than as compared to Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge just to me feels like very old money. And it's like, it feels like whatever level you're at, you're going to be stuck at that level unless something dramatic changes. That's why I moved from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. Cause like, there's more opportunities here. There's like hotels you can work at. There's bars you can work at. There's always some type of fucking event or something.
Right.
Cause like I moved because I was working a job. It was decent or whatever, but I was like, I reached a point where, okay, I can't go any further here. So if none of these other businesses or anything are going to pay me or show me like anything useful that I can learn and build myself, then I obviously have to change my environment and like come to New Orleans. There's an international airport, so if I ever get bored of New Orleans, I can just hop on a plane, pack up all my things and leave. But for the most part, like there's just a lot here, and you got to just know how to dance around all the pitfalls and stuff that people usually fall into when you move to a big city.
Yeah, and a lot of people do fall into those too, especially if you're working on Bourbon Street and stuff.
God, no.
I was down there for 3 years. I know how crazy it is.
No.
And luckily I escaped to the neighborhood bars. But I think that says a lot about you, the fact that that you realize you achieved a pinnacle and you're like, well, most people would stay there forever. You know, they would stay there and keep getting paid. But like, it says a lot about you that took the risk and you were like, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know if you know this, but like I have a kid and I always told myself if I ever had a kid, no matter what it takes, no matter how shitty it is, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure my kid never has to go through the stupid shit that I had to go through. So me knowing that the restaurant I was working at the time was opening up a new restaurant in New Orleans. And I was like, okay, well, I could be a chef in New Orleans. That'll look decent on my resume. And hopefully, since this restaurant is new and it also seems to be the owner's favorite restaurant, hopefully they're pumping money into it. So maybe I can get to the level of income working there that I wanted to. And I did. Everything went according to plan, except for a few hiccups. But yeah, I just had to take that leap and leave to make sure. I want to be able. I'm not one of those parents to where I want my child to live on easy mode. I think those type of kids are just super shitty human beings. But I would like to be able, by the time he's 18, to help him out financially as much as he's actually needed. I'm not fucking trying to buy him a Porsche or a Ferrari and have him have cocaine hooker frat boy parties or anything like that. But I would like him to know that, hey, I want you to have the freedom to explore and try things out and learn and fail, but also know that if you do fail, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not doing anything stupid, I got your back no matter what. But as soon as you go out there and you do something like super fucking demoralizing, like, no, don't come to me. I told you, I like let you know straight up. It's like, I got your back no matter what. But if you fuck up like this, don't expect help from me.
Well, dude, and I think you're going to be a great parent. You have a good head on your shoulders, man.
I try. Cause I've done a lot of like stupid stuff in my life, but we're kids. Like whenever you're like 20, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Why? I don't even think that thing's not even 20. I think just humans in general.
Yeah.
Like they do shit because they're trying to figure it all out. Like we think that everyone has it figured out, but no one has a clue what's going on.
It's this perception of like, cause when if a dude walked across here and he's like wearing a nice suit and you see a fucking Mercedes, he's like, oh, yeah, that dude's got his shit together, but you don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Oh, I 100%. This man doesn't have shit together. I've met enough humans at this point that I can tell you that even the guys wearing the suits, driving the Porsches or whatever they are, they don't have a clue what's going on. They just found a way to either look the part or they found a way to manipulate the system and make some money, but they still have no clue. They just know that one little niche. And I think that's the problem with the world these days is we don't have people that can look at the big picture and say, okay, this is what we're doing wrong. We need to fix this. We have people that are like so hyper focused on their little area that they're refusing to see the big picture. And I think that's a lack of foresight on our part. And it's going to end up hurting the planet, hurting us in the end.
Oh yeah. And like, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It's like when you step back and try to look at the bigger picture, you slowly start to realize like, oh my God, this is so fucked. Like, how did y'all let this get like this? Like I whenever I was like 23, I was working at the Raw Shop and there was this girl we had working with us and she was like very into hip hop and she showed me Young Thug and I listened to Young Thug's music for the first time ever. And I was like, this is rap. I can fucking do this. And I started like slowly researching like how to do marketing, how to do like sound production, how to like do like all that type of stuff. And like the more you dig deep into it, it's like, oh fuck. Like there's a lot of like sexual exploitation and like money laundering and drugs. And there's a lot in it. Like all these stories that people tell you about like I don't want to get on the Illuminati subject, but I was like, that shit's real. It's like real. That's fucking real. Yeah. Like, how do you not see this shit actually happening?
No, we're no longer in conspiracy, man. Like this shit is real. And like if you the reason that people like don't think it's real is because they just haven't done any research on it. But like it's right in front of your face all the time.
I think some people know, they just prefer to put their head in the sand and
ignorance is bliss, right?
Dude, it's so like that whole, we're jumping the topics, I know, but like the whole Jeffrey Epstein shit, that we should still be talking about that. Like we should still be like, how the fuck did that happen? And how the hell there's like only one person being held accountable for it when there's a list of like scientists and politicians and celebrities and we hear nothing about it. We just all just moved on. Like nothing fucking ever happened. And that shit's still happening right now. And like I have a bad habit of like weighing the weight of the world on my shoulders once specific pieces of key information get put into my like worldview, because I didn't know who the fuck Jeffrey Epstein was at all. Then the pandemic hit, and I don't know. I know like you probably don't use TikTok a lot, but dude, TikTok exploded.
Yeah.
Like when everybody was like bored and trapped in their house, like a bunch of fucking CIA documents got fucking leaked, a bunch of like tax information got fucking leaked, a bunch of stuff from TikTok alone. I was like, oh my God, like, bruh, we're fucked. Like we're cattle. We're literally just fucking cattle to these people. They don't give a fuck about us. Like they do all these charity organizations just to write off fucking shit so they can get more money into their pockets. Like I can never trust a charity ever again, because when you look into it, you find out, no, that money doesn't go to that cause. And if it does go to that cause, only a fraction of it does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you sit down and think about it and you're like, we have more millionaires and billionaires than ever in the history of human life, but there's still poverty, there's still suffering, there's still famine, there's still war, there's still, so the forces that are trying to make this world a worse place never rest. Mm-hmm. And they have made it very clear that if you try to stop us, we're going to unalive you. Mm-hmm. And if we can't unalive you, we're going to fucking ruin your life.
Yeah.
And we see it happening every single fucking day. And because it takes a collective to stand against an established authority, nothing ever changes, because we can never get enough of a number of people on the same fucking page to be like, this has to stop.
And what do you think that reason is? Why do you think enough people can't get on the same page?
Fear, greed.
It is fear, but I think that there are enough people now that know there's a problem. But I think that social medias are the problem right now, because the algorithms are not allowing those people that can actually pull the group together to have a voice anymore. I think that the algorithms are now, what they call it, shadow banning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Like, because there are certain humans that are better at pulling in groups of people together than other humans are, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's part of it's part of our evolution. But I think that with social media is because that's the way we kind of communicate now. It's the way we pull each other together in groups. We're being, kind of shadow banned. Like the only voices that are being allowed to spread are voices of like negativity. So that's what people are looking at.
Well, like the way I look at the social medias is they're, at the end of the day, businesses, and businesses always have goals and agendas. And if you are using their platform to counteract whatever their goal or agenda is, of course, they're going to shut you up. That's why I feel as if the people that really want things to change for the better need to completely abandon those mainstream social media sites. You can't tell me that there's not a computer programmer or a social media mogul out there that's like sees what's going on and has the capability to make a social media or even a blog or some type of communication, organized communication, to where you can get these people in the same room, hashing out ideas, trying to make things progress. But the sad part about it is, ultimately, at the end of the day, if you really want a complete shift from where we're headed, where I believe we're headed, which is a complete fucking clusterfuck dystopia, is a lot of people are going to have to die. And like, that's the big thing that people don't want to come to terms with. Is like, there's shitty humans that don't deserve to live. Like, you say all lives are created equal. Fuck that. Like all lives do not matter. I'm sorry. Like, some people just need to be completely unalive. We're not going to talk about it anymore. They did something shitty. And if you want to fall in line with them, you'll be next. Like, like plain and simple. Like, there's like anybody who's willingly able to harm a child. None. No trial, no due process, none. Like, no, don't waste my tax dollars making this motherfucker fed. Kill him.
So here's the argument for that is like, how do you prove that they did it? If you're saying if you have ultimate proof that they did it.
Yeah.
Right?
If we have absolute unrefutable proof, like there's a dude who was like, I forgot where I saw this, but he was like ex-special forces or some shit. And he was live streaming tortures on the dark web. Yeah. And they caught him. And they have him somewhere in like Guantanamo Bay or somewhere. I was like, he should not be alive anymore.
Well, the argument for that is like, if he's in prison for the rest of his life, he's going to be miserable. If you end him right now, then his like pain and suffering's over.
But like, who's paying to make sure his life is miserable?
That's a good point. We are, yeah.
I would rather him not be around anymore.
So what if we did this? What if we just threw him in a hole and like let him just waste away in hunger pains?
I agree with that.
Okay, that way we don't actually spend any money on it.
Can we just agree that like there are certain things that you can do with your life that are like absolutely unfucking forgivable?
100%. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Dude, if you take a kid and if you diddle a little kid that like can't say yes or no,
yeah,
like that's horrible.
Yeah.
Like I can't, whenever I hear these things about, because I like to think that there is good in humans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But when I hear these things about like Jeffrey Epstein and, you know, Bill Clinton and all these things and Bill Gates going to his island, that just blows my fucking mind. Because I can't even like fathom that level of I don't even know what you would call it.
Fuckery, debauchery.
But just like, yeah, just that level of.
And the sad thing is like, dude, from the age of like when I hit high school, like in high school, I listened to a lot of like System of a Down and like Rise Against, and like I listened to like a lot of metal and stuff. And I would not say that they contributed to my nihilism, but they opened my eyes to like looking into, holy shit, we destabilize countries. Holy shit, we train terrorists. Holy shit, we supply the drugs. Like we're doing like whenever I realized that we're always at war. There's not an Afghan war. There's not a Vietnam war. There's not World War I. We're constantly at war.
It's a business.
We're like, that's the whole reason why this shit in Ukraine is still going. They've tried to talk for peace several times. And there's so many American like arms dealers and people like, no, don't do that. Like we got way more money to make. Like,
yeah.
Like whenever you hear that they're sending like all these millions of dollars to Ukraine while we still got people suffering here in America, it's like,
you heard the blockchain fiasco, right?
With the FTX shit?
Yeah, yeah. So with Ukraine, did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear how that
Okay.
connects.
So the government was sending all this money to Ukraine. Ukraine was then turning around and buying FTX tokens. So they're basically putting the money in the FTX platform. And then the guy Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who's running FTX, was then donating the money back to the Democratic Party. So that's just another form of money laundering. And everyone that's out in the open now. And a lot of people are either not aware of this, like they're not paying attention to this, or they just like, it's been written off.
We're cattle, dude. We're fucking.
So it's funny you say that because
we're cattle, dude.
Well, the stuff that I've been reading, man, it's like I've been into psychology here lately. And one of the books I was reading is called The Human Zoo. And it talks about how like cities are basically just zoos. And then I stumbled across a paper the other day, and I forgot the name of the scientist, but he was taking mice. He was building a utopia for mice. Okay. And these mice, he was doing rats too, but mice and rats, building a utopia for them. And he started realizing that the behaviors that they were exhibiting in these utopias, where basically they had all the food they needed, there really wasn't that much danger around them. Like they could do whatever they wanted to, and they could form these like hierarchies, social hierarchies. But he realized that all the stuff that they were doing, the behavior they were exhibiting is the same behavior we exhibit in cities. So if you look around right now, you can see, even I've noticed in myself, when I was reading this paper, I was like, shit, dude, I exhibit some of these behaviors.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking scary. So like at what level are these people like doing these experiments? I think cities are just experiments. I think planet Earth is just an experiment.
Oh, like the thing, I don't want to get into like aliens and like shadow governments.
Why not? Let's get into it, dude. Something happened. Something fucking happened. Hey, let's pause this real quick.
Okay.
Okay. I'll edit this. Yeah. So we were talking about aliens,
which are real, which the government legit said like, yeah, we got tons of USOs. We don't know what the fuck they are. We don't know where the fuck they came from, but they're real. Like,
do you think they're ours? Do you think there are like spaceships? Or do you
I think some of them maybe for sure. And some of them maybe like other countries tests, whatever. And for all I know, some of them can be otherworldly, like, or some of that shit could like, cause if planet Earth is supposed to be like millions and billions of years fucking old, we don't know what the fuck was here. We don't know. We don't know any of this shit.
I got a really cool saved file on my Instagram, because I do participate in Instagram. I don't participate in TikTok, but Instagram I do. And there's a lot of like really cool like old ruins on Instagram that people post photos of. And the actual saved file is called Buried History, because I think there's a lot of history that we aren't taught in school, but there's ruins are actually still existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like whenever I found out that they did an excavation of the Grand Canyon and they found Egyptian fucking artifacts
Crazy.
in the fucking Grand Canyon, and we never were told about it until it was like too little too fucking late. And the goddamn Smithsonian is like, no, they don't need to know that. Who the fuck are you to tell me what I don't need to know?
They also banned digging and stuff in the Grand Canyon.
Of course
right?
they did.
Yeah.
Of course they fucking did. I hate it. I hate it so much.
But does that mean you and I can't go to the Grand Canyon, or can we go to the Grand Canyon and still look at this stuff?
Well, if I ever get to the point where I just don't give a fuck whether or not I live or die and I want to know, I'm going.
You think they would kill you for that?
Oh yeah, God, we can't even go to Antarctica for some fucking reason. like we can't like.
Have you ever looked at a map of Google Maps on Antarctica?
I thought it wouldn't even show you.
So if you look at Google Maps on Antarctica and you look at they have it on like the outside of Antarctica, all like the wealthiest people in the world have a like peninsula there.
Wow.
So like the Rothschilds have a Rothschilds Peninsula, et cetera, going around it's pretty nuts that that's
Something's up. Yeah. Something's up. Something's there.
Dude,
something's there that they don't want us to have. Something's there they don't want us to know. Like something's fucking there. And I like, because I already know like a lot of the shit they teach us from like elementary school to high school is fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So, but basically the one thing that I know.
How did you figure that out though? How did you figure this out? Because this is a cool question, because you're a very intelligent person. I've talked to you many hours. I know how smart you are, but like when did it click for you and you go, holy shit, this is wrong?
It got to a point where I started like, so I come from a very, very like poor background, like very low level. My mom had me when she was 18. We had no resources, anything like that. And I hated it. I hated being poor. I felt disgusting. So it got to a point where I broke and I'm like, okay, why are things like this? Why don't I have what they have? Why don't I think how they think? And I just started like pounding books. I started like talking to people. I started like just engaging in conversations with people I would normally, also my family's very racist. So the fact that like I actively talked to people outside of my race, and not just white, like they just thought it was weird. I was always the weird kid. But whenever I started like talking to people and not just like believing everything I heard, comparing what you say to what they say and what you say to what he says, and I'm like, okay, now I get it now. Now I get it that, and especially when it came out that the guy who created the current day school system blatantly said, I don't want thinkers, I want workers. So why would you educate us? If you don't want us to think, why the fuck would you give us a proper education? Mm-hmm. So I was like, all that shit. So when you have Pangea and we had a supercontinent, and then whenever plate shifts or cataclysmic events, whatever happened and it caused us to split up, it makes sense to believe that once upon a time, there was just one giant landmass where all the humans fucking cohabited. Maybe they had wars, whatever. All that shit was fucking connected. So all these archaeologists and anthropologists finding all this stuff and being silenced about it, especially with Graham Hancock. I don't know if you know who he is. I take all of his stuff with a grain of salt, but you got to admit when you,
you're good.
You got to admit that some of the shit he talks about.
Göbekli Tepe is one of his big
it makes sense.
It does.
It makes so much fucking sense.
But the real question with the Göbekli Tepe is, why was it covered? Like, why would they come in and cover it all?
They don't want us to know. They don't.
So you think that the powers that be right now are the ones that actually covered it all up?
They like I said, we're cattle.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make sure your cattle do what you want them to do and not uprise and not revolt and not disturb the current established order? You keep them stupid.
Yeah.
You keep them fat. You keep them complacent. You keep them happy. You don't have any reasons to ask why things are wrong if everything is okay in your mind.
True. It was like, plus in the Roman times, right? The circus, right?
Oh God, don't even get started on that.
Keep the peasants fed and then keep them entertained, and they'll never question anything.
Keep the wheels turning.
Yeah.
Like I had to leave restaurants because I was always one of those hippy dippy kids like, oh yeah, the oceans are being poisoned and we need the fucking oceans. And like, whenever you work in a restaurant, you realize like how much plastic and cardboard and food is being like wasted. Mm-hmm. And now I work for a shipping company that supplies like all the fish and stuff to restaurants and things like that. And we throw away tons of plastic and styrofoam and shit every fucking day. Like restaurants are a huge contributing factor to the death of our planet.
Yeah.
And then when you get into that, you see like all the microplastics and stuff floating inside of us. That's why the kids are growing up with like autism and ADHD and all fucked up and shit, because like we have destroyed our environment.
Yeah.
We've incorporated these toxins into our bodies. They're there now. There's no way to get them out unless we can unless by some miracle somebody's like, look, guys, we need to stop all commercial fishing for at least like 20 to 50 years to let the oceans bounce back and maybe get this shit. And it'll never happen.
No, it'll never happen. I think so. The way I think in a duality, right? So I think there's a problem that someone on this planet has to exist with a solution. And I think that's another issue that we have on this planet is that the social media platforms are keeping those people that have the solutions to these problems held down. Like, I think that there's a solution to every problem that we have, even the microplastic thing. I think someone on this planet is smart enough to figure that one out. But I just think that they're not being, they'll never make it to the point where they can tell someone this.
Yeah.
Because they're being snuffed out.
Yeah. And for me, there's like, I've shockingly reached the realization that like, there's no profit in peace. If nobody has problems, how will you make money?
That's a good point.
Like if everything's fine, there's no reason to really do anything besides exist.
So what's the solution for that then? Because like I think that if we talk about crypto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with crypto at all?
A little. I own a few of them, but like I can't sit here and tell you that I know anything of what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, the key takeaway from crypto, in my opinion, is the decentralization.
Oh yeah.
So this is the issue we have right now with social media platforms, with money, like all this stuff. It's all centralized platforms. So anything that you say on social media has to go to Facebook first. Facebook then distributes it out through the world. But if you have a decentralized social media, then that means that it's on everyone's server that has a piece of that pie, right? Mm-hmm. So, for instance, I have a crypto machine at home, so I'm running one of the nodes on the background of the backbone of the crypto server. So that means anything that goes on, I may get to actually send it out because like it's based off of mathematical algorithms. So if my crypto mining machine gets it right, then I get a chance to like be the one that has the ledger at the time. So ledger of transactions. Therefore, everyone on the decentralized network has a piece of the pie rather than one person. Mm-hmm. So when you have a decentralized form of money, then they can't fuck it up. Like it's basically a monetary system controlled by the people rather than a centralized form of government, which is the issue right now. Is we're printing out money like it's just coupons. Mm-hmm. We're just printing it out and sending it out to people, which is why the inflation and stuff is going up. Yeah. But if the people actually controlled the world, because I mean there are way more of us than there are of like the elites or whatever you want to call them. So if we actually controlled the system, I think it would be way better.
See with that. I like in a idealistic, real, moral world where you can actually trust people and trust what they say they're going to do and everything like that. Yeah, I see that working. But because of human nature, like let's say I work in a kitchen with a bunch of guys and we all buy lotto tickets. And it's like, if one of these tickets hit, we'll split all the winnings amongst us all. Mm-hmm. All it takes is one person to be like, if any one of you wins, I'm offing all of you and taking the ticket.
Okay.
like if any one of you fucking wins, I want all that fucking money. It takes people with integrity and backbone and trust to actually implement the changes and actually go forward with them. The only thing is my complete and utter faith in humanity is almost shot to death. Right. Like I don't have it anymore.
So with crypto, with blockchain, you can take humans out of the equation. So with your example, if we all bought lottery tickets, what you could do is you could create a thing called a smart contract. Okay. The smart contract would be between you and all the employees that are there. You then upload the ticket, the lotto ticket, to the smart contract, and you say, if we win, everyone in this group gets equally distributed money. Mm-hmm. Then as soon as the numbers hit that day, if that happens and you win, the money automatically distributes to all your wallets. So human error is out of the equation because humans are greedy. I'll give you that 100%. I'll give you that. I think that's a problem with the world. People are very, very greedy.
Oh yeah.
This is going to change the world, man. I'm telling you. Like it's a system right now that's so revolutionary that people don't understand it yet. And even the governments are scrambling right now to make their own form of crypto because they realize that, yes, this is the ticket.
If I had the time to like sit down and actually fully understand what it sounds really, really good on paper. It's just for me right now, I'm having a hard time trusting any monetary system whatsoever because, especially with computers, could it be hacked?
Sorry.
Could it be like corrupted? Could like.
Okay, so the way blockchain also works is there's a thing called, and I might get some of this wrong. So if anyone's out there listening, you know what, fuck you. But there's a thing called a hash graph, I believe it's called. And every time a block is complete in the blockchain, because it's a chain of blocks, right? So every time a block is complete, the hash graph is written. Okay, each hash graph is also related to the last block that was written. Okay, which is also related to the last block that was written, which is also related to the last block that was written, right? So all these things are in a chain. So if someone does hack the system, they first have to change the initial hash graph, but then they also have to change every other one of them down the line.
And there's nobody alive that can actually do that?
Well, AI, possibly.
Yeesh.
But if we can maintain control over AI, then it'll be fine, because that's one of the checking mechanisms behind blockchain. That's why it's so amazing, because it's almost impenetrable. Is that if you change one of the blocks, if you get in one of the blocks, yes, you can take that data, but the chain will recognize it and it'll say, hang on, this is wrong. Let's roll back to the last block and let's start again. So one of them did get hacked whenever Ethereum first launched. I think it was Ethereum. And what they did was they actually, instead of rolling back the blocks, because that's like almost impossible to do, they split the Ethereum chain and they corrected their mistake, and now it's still going.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are flaws in this system. It's not perfect.
There's flaws in every system.
Yeah, because humans created it.
Yeah.
So but it's another reason I think that AI is going to fucking revolutionize this stuff if we just maintain control on it. Like I've been messing with ChatGPT.
There's a chatbot.
Oh, bro. AI
the chatbot,
dude. Elon Musk, one of his companies created this, right? And they made it open source, so anybody can go and they can go and play with it. It's not, the source code isn't open source, but you can go and play with the stuff. But ChatGPT is one of them, and you can ask this thing all kinds of questions, and it answers you like a human would, but like in split second. You can even ask it for like, I've seen people online going, hey, give me ideas for a YouTube video on such and such. And ChatGPT automatically gives you like 10 ideas for videos on there. Like it's nuts these things can do. We were playing with the other night. We were playing with the image generator part of it, because there's like several different parts of it. There's one that generates code. Mm-hmm. Like if you're a coder, you can just go and say, hey, I want to make a form that does this, this, and this. And ChatGPT automatically makes the form. So you don't have to spend any time coding at all. But the image generator one, you basically go to it and you say, hey, the first one we did the night was, hey, I want to see a picture of a duck drinking a beer. Like something like abstract like that.
And it just made it.
Generates 4 images like that. And you can hit refresh to see more images, and it generates 4 more images. The coolest one we did was we were doing a Van Gogh style painting of such and such. I think the coolest one we did was Van Gogh style painting of Pickle Rick. And it made a Pickle Rick looking picture. It wasn't the actual Pickle Rick, but it made its own version of that in a Van Gogh style painting.
See, I've always liked the idea of technology finally making human life easier, but does that mean that there will be a complete societal collapse if we become completely dependent on these algorithms, on these systems, on especially with the crypto? Because like barely anybody knows anything about it. Like I have crypto, but I just put my money in, bought the tokens, and now they're sitting there. That's all.
Leave them there, yeah. Until the rest of the world adopts this stuff, it's not gonna make any difference. So you have to basically get everyone on the same page. And I have some ideas about that, but we'll save those for another day. Mass adoption has to occur.
Yeah.
But the actual, if you look at once again, if you take a step back and you look just like the patterns, like the adoption patterns of humans, then we are on the same scale as the internet was when the internet became a thing. Mm-hmm. Like at first when the internet became a thing, people were like, oh, I don't know about this. I want my encyclopedias.
I was all about it. My grandma wasn't.
Well, yeah, you and I were that age. You know?
Yeah, no, right. Like I remember dial up. I remember all that shit.
No, my first computer was like 512 megabytes of RAM.
Really?
And I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome. I downloaded my first song off Kazaa, I think it was. I think it's called Kazaa.
What did I have? I had like BearShare and Morpheus, electro cancer for your computer.
Yeah. Dude, it took me like 2 days to download a POD song. It was the first song I ever downloaded.
Lord. Nah, I'm a big tech nut. I told myself if I ever got out of debt and I had the means to go back to school, programming or like either software or hardware would probably be the next. But like algorithms and AI making all that.
Dude, here's
obsolete.
the beauty of it. Yeah, you don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
So no, and people are scared about that. People are like, well, it's going to take my job away from me. It's like, no, it's not. It's going to free you up to do other things. Like, because I have ideas for things, but there are certain things that I can't do. Like, I can't go and program an entire app. But if I can utilize this Chat GPT to, hey, help me make this, that's AI helping me make a system that could correct the world. So I think this is like leveling the playing field, because a lot of times when you have these people that are super wealthy, they're going out and hiring people that have the skills to make certain platforms that can then, do whatever nefarious thing they want to do. But if you have people that literally have no money and they're like, well, hey, I need to like make this idea that I have come to life, then you can go utilize AI, make the ideas come to life and level the playing field. So now you have people that don't have the resources actually creating the ideas they have to change the world.
And I think that is when society will completely shift. Because if you give the peasants the same power and access as you do the elites or whatever, that's when the real shit hits the fan. Once everybody on the lower levels realize, like, wait a minute, we don't need you anymore. Why are you telling me what to do?
Yeah.
That's when the real shit begins. Like,
that's the way I feel about like government and stuff right now. That's what I feel about everyone. Anyone that tells me that they're an authority over me, I'm like, well, come and do it.
Yeah.
Come make me do it.
Nah.
That's why I work out. Yeah. Like,
I need to get back in the gym myself. Cause like, no, like you're hitting the nail right on the head. Like I'm at that age and now I'm at that mindset since I'm trying my best to put more nourishment in my brain than like trash. Like I love my video games. I love my Netflix and all that stuff.
What do you play? What do you play video games?
Right now, it's been nothing but Pokemon. I'm a fucking addict.
Like which one? Do you play Pokemon Go?
I play Pokemon Go, of course.
Why have you not even played Pokemon Go with us, bro? Like, this bar is heavy in Pokemon
I didn't
Go.
know that, but like my ex,
I didn't mean to cut you off midstream though. You were like downloading some knowledge. My bad. You were talking about the mindset you're at right now. We'll do Pokemon later.
But like in the mindset I am right now, it's like, dude, I'm not hurting anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to impose my will on anybody else. If you fuckers want to be stupid, that's you. More money and access than it is for me. Like I used to be a completely like thoroughly altruistic human being. I wanted everybody to thrive, I wanted everybody to thrive. And I got around like some fucking tyrants, some utter fucking douchebags, and I got cutthroat real quick. Mm-hmm. So right now my mindset is I want to make sure my family's safe, the people that love and support me are safe, and I want to make sure that we're fucking good and fuck everybody else who's trying to get in the way of that, period. Like,
yeah.
If you're coming around me trying to do some fuck shit, we will eliminate you. The buck stops right here. The mindset I have right now is like, I want to be a contributing member of a society that I have full faith and belief in. America lately has been utterly disappointing me. Mm. It's fallen a fucking part. Because we don't have enough people with influence or with power to stand up and say enough is enough. Like this is going on far too long. It needs to stop. And I have no faith whatsoever that the people that currently have power and influence are ever going to get to that point. So now for me personally, I'm trying my best to take care of my mind, body, and spirit and accumulate like-minded people that I know that I can trust, or it's at least worth the risk of trusting you to get to where it is I want to go. Because ultimately, I used to want like a house and a wife and a picket fence and all that shit. I used to want all that. Now that I'm older, I'm like, no, that's bullshit. You don't want that.
Yeah.
Like you don't want that at all. Now I want to like be at peace, be merry, be able to know that like when I wake up tomorrow, I'm good. I'm taken care of. Like my family's taken care of. My friends are taken care of. They know that if they need anything, I'll help them. If I need anything, they'll help me. And there's no fucking obligation behind it. I've been surrounded by so many people that will only help you if they're going to gain something from it. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. Like I try my hardest every single day to not be like that. I used to like give money to homeless people all the fucking time up until some incidents that happened. I used to like, just like, if I have it to give and I don't need it, it's yours. Mm-hmm. You obviously need this shit more than I do. That's right. The way I used to approach every fucking thing. But New Orleans changed that shit for me.
Yeah, like, dude.
The homeless here are fucking bold.
So it's one thing if you're homeless and you like are trying to get back on your feet. it's another thing if you're on the same corner every single day and you're not even trying.
Not even trying.
And that's what gets me is like I drive by the same corner every day and these people own that corner. And it's like, dude, you're not even trying at this point.
Yeah.
Like why? I don't even, and people are still giving them money.
Yeah.
That's what gets me.
Yeah. No, like there was a dude I would pass every single day on my way to work. And I'd give him $5. I get tips. I can give you $5 out of this. This one day I legit didn't have it. I spent all my money on rent and bills and shit.
He got mad at you, huh?
He got fucking furious, like violently. And I was like, ooh, no. Absolutely fucking goddamn not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. And like, if you go down Champatulas towards downtown, that whole city that they have, who let that happen? Like, how did it get that fucking far? Where did these people even fucking come from? Like, that wasn't there. Like, pre-COVID, that wasn't there. That was not there.
Yeah.
They have a legit fucking city underneath the overpass right now. Dude, and that's a threat. That's dangerous.
It's that way in every city too, man. Like you would think that as a mayor of a city, that if you saw that, a tent city in your domicile that you control, that you would go, hey, let's figure out a solution for this.
Yeah.
But what is our mayor doing?
That's that's the thing.
What is she sleeping with a police officer? And that what she was doing?
Oh my God. I don't even know. Like, as far as LaToya goes, and as far as like the whole governmental hierarchy goes, I actually don't really understand whose job is what, because I thought the governor was over the mayor, and like the mayor, I don't even know what they're supposed to be fucking
But does
doing.
it matter?
Somebody's supposed to be doing something,
Exactly.
especially when you have people legit telling you is like, hey, these rent prices are way too fucking high. Yeah. The jobs that are available to the everyday ordinary citizen won't even pay a decent enough wage for one person to live alone on their own. That is a huge fucking problem. If you want to keep this system going, if you want to keep being happy and merry and shit, you have to supply these people with at least the means that they need to survive and live peacefully and happily to go keep this repetitive system going. You have to at least fucking do that. No, they don't care. They're partying, they're gallivanting, they're going to fucking France, they're going like, ugh. It's so frustrating.
Malcolm Ross for mayor. You heard it here first.
Ah, shit. I mean, you get these positions of power, and it's supposed to be to hopefully help people.
Yeah.
You're supposed to like see a problem and want to and actively fucking fix it. You don't turn a blind eye to something that's blatantly a fucking problem. You got people telling you straight up, is like, dude, I work 2 jobs and I can't pay this fucking rent. That's a problem. That's a fucking huge problem. Like, no one should have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure they have a comfortable place to sleep or maybe possibly even eat. Like I said, I grew up in a completely poor lifestyle. My mom started sending us to school just so we could get lunch.
Yeah.
She didn't give a fuck about our education. She didn't give a fuck about I'm sending you to school because they got food. Like, plain simple. That's the only reason you're going to school right now. And once I realized that, I stopped giving a shit about school. And once I started to understand, like, you don't have to really be smart to make money. You just have to understand, like, how far are you willing to go to get what you want, whether it be positive or negative. Intelligence, it can help, yeah, but it really doesn't mean that much. If you're willing to do some scumbag, ruthless ass shit, you can become a millionaire overnight.
Yeah.
Like nothing. So as far as the money goes, we already know all that shit's fictitious. All that shit, all that shit's completely unnecessary. Like, we already know it's completely dumb.
It's just a control mechanism.
It really is. Like I said, we're cattle. We're fucking cattle. Once I realized and like stepped back and saw the whole bigger picture, it's like, dude, I don't want to participate in any of this. Like, almost every single, like, I could become a YouTuber and be one of these people that's like, hey, buy my t-shirt. And I'm like, I don't want to be one of these dudes producing more stuff that's going to end up in the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
I don't want to do that. That's why I like art, because you just create something, you can hang it on your wall, you can appreciate it, you can not do anything with it. Like,
you said art influenced your life, man. You said that System of a Down and people like that were influences on your life. So, I mean, that's what art really is.
They opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Serge Tanking opened my eyes to like, so like I was always like, America's the greatest, like blah, blah, blah. Like, granted, I am a black man in the South, so I had to deal with a lot of stupid shit. But for the most part, I don't have any reason to complain because like everything's taken care of. I have the means to like at least sustain myself in some type of capacity. But when you look at there's a book called The Grand Chessboard. It's about like geopolitics and the control of Eurasia, because that's like where all the like the minerals, cobalt, all that type of shit is. It's about like why Why do we give money to corrupt regimes? Why do we destabilize certain countries? Why do we not want certain people to have the same liberties and freedoms that we have? Because they have resources. And once they realize that these resources are valuable, then we actually have to start fucking paying them for that. It was the same thing back when like with slavery. It's like, if you teach these fools to read, they're not slaves anymore.
Right.
If you can teach these fools that there's a better life, they won't want the life that we have them in anymore.
Yeah.
That's the whole fucking thing. You have like, for anybody else to be successful in this current system, somebody else has to fucking suffer.
Yeah.
And that's the shitty thing about it. That's the shitty thing that I have where like, yeah, I could easily put my nose to the grindstone and work every day and become a ruthless businessman. And everybody will see all like the glitz and the glamour and the shiny shoe buckles and all that shit. But they won't pay attention to like at the underbelly of it all and the back of it all that somebody's dying, somebody's suffering, somebody's kid had fucking malaria and they chose to go to work that day instead of stay home with their kid because this company, the only company in this fucking village or whatever, is the only place that has jobs to give you at least the slightest resemblance of a life.
Well, in order to eat, you have to go do this, right? Yeah, no, it's nuts. That's why I was having a conversation with someone last night, and we were talking about. I think that everyone in this country, because we live in a nice country. You wake up, you don't have to worry about getting killed. You have food on your table, even if it's like rice and fucking chicken. Like who knows? You got something to eat. So I said to this person last night, I was like, we should. And I invited him on the podcast too, because they actually got pretty perturbed at me. But I was like,
yeah, was it Tulane kid
for no reason too. I was like, dude, we should send everyone in the U.S. once they graduate high school to a third world country, just so they see what it's like, and it would make a huge perspective shift for them, because it did for me. When I grew up in the United States, didn't travel or anything. I mean, we traveled around the U.S., but we didn't travel out of the country. But the first time I went to a third world country, I was like, holy shit! And these people are happy. They were so happy just to live life. But I mean, they had to wake up and go like look for food and shit. And I was like, this blows my fucking mind that people over here are upset about anything.
And it scares people that they'd be like, that most people might be happier on that base level of just hunter-gatherers, communal situations. We might be even like, if you strip away all the rappers and the actresses and all, like if you strip all that shit away and just give us the basic fundamentals of what we need, it would scare people that they are this content and this happy knowing that their life is like this fucking basic and it's not that complex. I told my ex is a person who's like riddled with anxiety and depression and all these things that she has going in her. And I told her, it's like, life isn't hard. People make life fucking hard. Like all you have to do is try not to be shitty. Try your best to find a job that you don't fucking hate. And don't overspend your money on things that you literally don't need, and keep your head on a swivel. Don't be an idiot, and you're good. Like you're fucking good. Like that's the whole thing that I try to drill in people's heads because like I said, I grew up poor. So I got teased a lot. I got ridiculed a lot. But in the back of my mind, I always knew it was like, for instance, I used to work at a bar, and a girl that the hottest girl at the bar, like everybody thought she was a shit. If you got to fuck her, you were king. We got in an argument one day, and she was like, Malcolm, who cares what you think? You're a fucking loser. And in my mind, I'm like, you're a fucking whore. Why would I care what you think? I hate to like say it like that, but like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't care what you think at all. Like whatever. So I've never had the desire to like be like, I will admit whenever certain people that I thought were my friends or people that I thought I trusted would like belittle me or talk down on me. Yeah, I want to show you up. I want to make you eat your words. I want to like get at it and make you suffer. But that was just me being petty and spiteful.
But no, are they really your friends if they're talking shit to you?
No.
I mean, if they're talking shit to you, it's a playful thing. Like if I'm like, dude, you're fucking looking soft right now. Yeah. That's a playful thing. But no. I mean, like, you know, it's one thing if you know that the intent is bad.
Yeah, no, like amongst guys, the like little playful jabs here and there. Yeah, I get that. But sometimes a new person gets invited into the group that doesn't know the vibe, and like they'll say some like really hurtful shit. And I'm like, okay, so you're obviously trying to hurt me.
Right.
So now I got one in the chamber for you.
Yeah.
If you ever mouth off again. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm completely avoidant of confrontation because I know I'm the type of person to where if you're fucking with me, you started this. So now I get to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like I like you've seen me at the bar. I don't bother anybody. I don't like antagonize anybody. I get my drink. I say hi. I like to socialize if you want to socialize. But if you fuck with me, your life is forfeit.
Yeah.
Like if you threaten me, like I will do whatever it takes to make sure I make it home safe.
Dude, when you walk in this bar, you make this place a lighter place.
Really?
I promise you, man. Like it's nuts, man. Like there aren't many people that I come across that after I have an interaction with them, I have a better day.
Well, that's good.
It's nuts, man. And I think what you're saying with this, like this, if you mess with me first, like that's the mentality I was raised with too. Like I don't start shit.
Yeah.
But if you come at me, then I'm gonna finish it.
No, I don't. Only fools go around looking for trouble.
Yeah, no, it's dumb, man.
Like I don't. Why? You never know what anybody else is going through. So why would you make their fucking life harder?
But I think this is the issue with the current world we live in is that we have weak leadership.
We're very weak. Like, look at who our president is.
Yeah.
He's an
old man.
Look at that shit. How did that happen?
Old man, career politician. Like you should never have career politicians.
A day in his life.
No, career politicians are the worst because they don't understand what it's like to actually be alive.
And we are legit the little people than them. Like that's their mindset towards us.
Well, to me, they're the little people. So
I mean, if you take away all those layers of protection and all the prestige and everything, you're nothing. You're nothing. Society collapses tomorrow. You are nothing. You are first on the chopping block of cannibalism.
Exactly. Like they can't even survive. Like we can actually go out here and kill a deer and skin a deer. Like these guys can't even do that. You know.
Dude, that's why, like, I'm on the fence about the whole January 6th thing because I was actively on the internet while all that shit like. When COVID opened a lot of people's eyes to a lot of things that was going on. And the whole January 6th thing, they try to paint it as like Trump and his supporters are like revolting and trying to overthrow the government. It's like, no, a lot of shit just came out and they're like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to know. Like, this is all like there were different people there for different reasons. And that's the key problem. The media paints it as like these, extreme right radicals are trying to take over our country. Like, no, a lot of the lies that we've been told for years got exposed. And the people that actually really wanted things to change went there to be like, no, this shit needs to change. It wasn't, Trump didn't have to be the president. Biden didn't have to be the president. We wanted a complete overhaul of everything that's been going on. That's what I believe.
So here's a couple, I got a couple things for this.
Okay.
What if all that was just a setup? And what I'm saying is because like a lot of this, like this psychological warfare type stuff that they're using, that's a perfect psychological warfare scenario where when you have an alpha step up to the plate, and the alphas would be the people that storm the Capitol. When you have those people step up to the plate, if you knock them down in front of everybody's eyes, then no one else is going to step up. Because they're going to see them get ridiculed. That's the same way with like people when the shutdowns were happening. Like when they were shutting businesses down, there were certain businesses that were like, no, we're not fucking shutting down. And what they do, they sent the news people out. They sent the cops out to film all this stuff. And they filmed them getting arrested and sent to jail. Yeah. So they basically filmed them slapping the alphas down that were going against the system to show everyone else that, look, if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you.
I can see that. I can believe that completely.
And then another thing that made me question that is the fact that in all these other cases where people get shot and stuff or people get like hurt, like the George Floyd thing, right?
Yeah.
So the cop is on the back of this guy's neck. We have so much video footage of this, right? Like there are different angles of this and everything. But then when you look at the person that got shot on the day that people stormed the Capitol, you never see the shooter. All you see in the video, the only video footage they have, and there's cameras all over that fucking place. All you see in the video footage that they released is the gun around the corner doing this. And then the whoever shot that gun or just did this right here, whatever the fuck they did, leaves. You never know who that person even was. Yeah. And then they go to a person laying on the ground or whatever it was. Yeah.
I mean, they teach us this shit in elementary. You can frame a story to benefit your narrative in which way you need it to be, depending on what footage is available, like with all the documentaries are fucking dangerous. They can either debunk certain things or they can enforce certain things depending on what was recorded, what you want to use, what's chopped up and edited. It's like, that's why with the whole like short format pushing of social media, I don't trust it. I want to see the long format. I want to see everything you said with proper context before I make a judgment on my own.
That's why people like podcasts, man.
I like podcasts because, like I said, I watch the Joe Rogan podcast, and I've been ridiculed for watching the Joe Rogan podcast. 9 times out of 10, I'm watching the Joe Rogan podcast because I like the guest that he has on. Fuck Joe Rogan. I don't give a shit about that. But I like the person that he's interviewing, and I want to see their perspective on this specific area expertise that I know nothing about. Right. So like I watch that shit pretty frequently, especially when he has like ex special forces or ex like government agents. Like these are the people that were in that world. Yeah. These are the people that are putting their lives on the line to release information that we would never normally have access to. Why would you not want to listen to them? Why would you not want to at least hear what they have to fucking say? Because these are places within our government, within these constitutions that you would never fucking have access to.
Yeah.
So why would you not want to hear what they have to say? And then with your own human adult brain, assess it, process it, cross-reference it with other things that you've heard, and then make your own opinion. That's the thing that I really hate about our current day society. It's all like somebody says like, with the Andrew Tate thing. He's a misogynist. He's a bigot. He said some things that are completely fucking heinous. He said some things about me, not specifically, but he's like, if you go home and you play video games, you're a fucking loser. Okay, Andrew Tate, whatever. But he's also said other things that are like very applicable to this current modern day in society, as far as like, especially with the pussification of the modern American male. Mm-hmm. I'm completely against that. Like we need an army.
Yeah.
If America woke up tomorrow and was like, okay, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to dismantle all of our militaries. That doesn't mean the rest of the world is going to fucking do that.
Right.
That doesn't mean Russia's going to forget all that shit that we did. That doesn't mean like everybody's going to wake up and everything's peaceful now. No, we need a fucking army. We also need people that are willing to fight or defend the just and moral systems that we have in place that make the world better. Not all this fucking, I'm sending these SEAL teams to destabilize this government so these pedophiles can become billionaires. Like, no, not none of that shit. I'm talking about all the stuff that advances the human species as a whole for the better.
Yeah.
Like, we need people that are willing to do those type of dirty jobs. Like, if I could go back in time, I would probably be in the military, but I don't know. Like, it just sucks that our military industrial complexes has so many fingers in the pot to where you don't know what's really going on.
Well, dude, I'm glad you didn't go in the military, because I find that the military is a conditioning system.
Oh yeah, no, I've talked to Marines, and like their whole training process is legit brainwashing. They deprive you of fucking sleep and have you exhausted for at least a month or more, and to where you don't even know what to question. You don't even know who you are anymore. That's why all these dudes are coming back with fucking PTSD and shit, because then they come back and then they look up what people are saying about the causes they fought for, and they're like, holy shit, I risked my life for that. That, of course, we got domestic terrorists. You'd be insane not to become something like that.
Yeah, I know so many people that are affected by PTSD too, man. And like, they tell me some of the stories too. Like, this guy used to come to the bar. I'm not gonna say his name, but he told me a story one time about him sitting in a Humvee, and they went over like a mine or whatever it was in the ground, and it blew through the Humvee. The guy that was sitting in front of him disintegrated immediately. So they had blood everywhere. They got out of the car, and it was one of his best friends.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, of course that's why this guy has a drinking problem.
Shattered. I'd be fucking shattered. Like, if you're it takes a different type of human being to not be completely fucking destroyed seeing that shit happen right before your eyes. And especially when you get back and you start to try to, like, okay, so I was in the military and I wanted to fight to make America better, and I want to fight for a cause, but then you look and you trace the money and you see like, oh, that's why they sent us over there to do that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't for the benefit of anybody but some fucking asshole that wanted to do something evil and not have consequences for it.
Yeah.
Like the dude in Saudi, the prince in Saudi Arabia that killed that reporter. They say he went into a movie theater and never fucking came out.
Hang on, what?
Khashoggi? Oh yeah, the Khashoggi.
I haven't heard this.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
There was a reporter for the Washington Post that was in Saudi Arabia. He was there with his wife to go to a show. He said a lot of heinous things about the Prince of Saudi Arabia. The Prince knew about that. He knew he was in Saudi Arabia. He went to this show. No, he never came out of that theater.
They killed him when he was in the show.
The Prince, he killed him.
Put a hit on him.
He fucking killed. He sent somebody there to kill him.
Yeah.
This dude's gone without a fucking trace, and we're all supposed to like move on, like nothing fucking happened. Like,
and we did too, apparently.
Like, God, it's so frustrating. It's so fucking sad, man. Like,
it's so out in the open. That's what's frustrating about it. Yeah, it's one thing if like you never hear about these things. I'm sure they happen all the time, but it's one thing if like they're on social media and you actually hear about this and nothing ever happens. That's where it's frustrating.
I hate that we've all just accepted that if you stand against us, they're going to kill you. When people don't realize, like, look, dude, they can't kill all of us, and they need us way more than we need them.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more of us too than there are of them.
Way more. It's like, if you've ever seen the fucking Ants movie,
yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah. That's what we're living in.
Yeah.
Like, it takes all of us to be on a collected front to be like, this has to stop. We're sick of this. Like,
except it's actually ants versus ants. We're not even dealing with grasshoppers here.
There are all like, and I hate the fact that there's always those people that will want to defend the established order. They will, because like,
why do they do that?
You got your 401k, you got your health insurance, you got your mega yacht, you got your fucking oil refineries offshore,
because they're winning in the system.
That,
so I've actually had conversations about this with very wealthy people too, and I'm like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, if this system goes the way it's going, it's not sustainable. So even though you're winning right now, you're going to be one of us whenever the collapse happens, because your yacht, all your property means nothing at the end of the day. Like whenever the dollar crashes, which I believe is coming soon.
My God. When
the dollar crashes, it's going to be every man for himself, essentially. And if you don't have an army of people behind you, people that you can trust, like you and me, like we can trust each other. If you don't have that, then what are you? You're nothing.
At all. Like, I don't know. That's why I was so frustrated about The Walking Dead, because like that was a nice way to show like what would actually happen if society fucking collapsed. But then AMC realized like, oh yeah, we make money from milking this shit out, so we're not going to do political commentary on that.
Yeah, no, I watched about like one season of that.
Yeah,
and it was cool. The first season.
Season 2 is where I was like, nah.
Wait, let's pause this for a second again. God, where were we at?
I forgot.
we're doing good there. Yeah, we were talking about the establishment and how like everything is kind of like fucked right now. But I feel like there's solutions to the problem. So like
the solution is we need more morality. We need to teach people more to think about that. Because Dave Chappelle said it the best. We all fucking need each other. No matter how much it pains you to admit it, we all need each other in some type of capacity. We all need you to be functioning and contributing and progressing and trying at least. So I feel as if less of the self-absorbed, clout chasing, ruthless bullshit needs to be frowned upon. Hang
on, you mean the stuff that all social medias breed?
Yeah.
So how do you fix that though? That's a huge problem right now, that people are addicted to social media. They're not only just using social media, they're literally addicted to it. Like there's a guy I listen to, you might have heard him on Rogan's podcast, Andrew Huberman.
I've never heard of him.
Okay, Andrew Huberman is a neuroscientist from Stanford, and he talks extensively about the use of social media and how there's really no way for us to even predict what it's doing to people's brains. Because right now with TikTok, like there are things that like we've never even seen that are happening on TikTok. Like whenever you look through TikTok for hours on ends, like you're getting hits of dopamine every time you scroll to a new one, and that's very detrimental to anyone.
That. 1,000% believe.
So when you're raising kids that are just like growing up on this stuff, you're basically creating something we've never seen before.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think kids should not be allowed to be on social media until they're 18. I think we should regulate that just like we regulate everything else.
You can pull that up too. You don't have to pull yourself up to it.
Yeah. I personally, because I'm separated from my son's mom, but I want to have a talk with her and let her know it's like, he should only have a Facebook to talk to me because I live an hour away and I want to be able to call him and video chat with him, whatever. But like, I don't want him to have social media until he's old enough to realize like what that is. Like I barely post pictures of my child online because I don't want to give him an online identity before he understands the complete ramifications of that.
How old is he?
He's 10 now.
Okay.
He's at that age where like he's starting to ask questions and
well, his friends are starting to like get on it now. So he's probably, and they might have been on earlier than that, but I mean, he's probably like missing out.
I mean, maybe, because like that's the thing. I have this whole grudge against child stars. I think that's completely unhealthy. Mm-hmm. Like I think they grow up to be completely unhealthy people, and I don't want my son to ever turn into that at all. And he can call it controlling. He can call it me being a douche or whatever. But like, dude, I'm your dad. I'm only looking out for your best interests.
Right.
Like what I'm telling you is whenever you're 18 and you're an adult and your actions don't reflect upon me, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But while you're under my jurisdiction and I'm liable for everything that you do, no social media.
Yeah.
No.
It's a good way to be, dude. I've seen even people that are adults, they transition. Like I had an ex-girlfriend that she was an amazing woman whenever we first met, but she started getting into social media as like heavy, and it changed her entire like perception of herself, the world. Dude, it was nuts.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man, that changed my perspective on all these things. So, I mean, I can only imagine what it's doing to people who are vulnerable as kids.
Yeah. No, like I didn't like whenever social media slowly, I guess MySpace was my first social media, and it didn't take me till like 3 or 5 years later to understand like the algorithm learns what you likes and then feeds you the things that it thinks you want to see. And like I had a girlfriend at the time, and like I had her phone and I was scrolling through her shit, and it was like, oh, it's showing you like completely different things to what it's showing me.
Right.
So like now I understand like through your phone, we all live in this fucking bubble. And whenever you're trying to like get a point across to somebody or like have a conversation with somebody, it's hard to like sway them to your worldview or get them to see life in your shoes because they're already compacted into this fucking bubble. Like I started realizing like, okay, why do so many people want fucking Kanye and Andrew Tate fucking dead? This is recent. And I started realizing like, okay, so the shit that the algorithm's showing me about Kanye and Andrew Tate and the shit that the algorithm's showing you about Kanye and Andrew Tate are completely fucking different things. So I can see how it's completely polarizing and why people are like, oh, you support him? Fuck you forever. Like it shouldn't be like that. It should be like they're telling you every single day, like we're manipulating you. We're selling you ads. We're keeping your data. And that's another thing that pisses me off. Because like if you step back and look at it, Facebook owes us money. Google owes us money. Instagram owes us money. You're taking my data and my keystrokes and all that shit and selling it to companies and I don't get anything from it. Like that's bullshit. That's absolute and utter fucking bullshit.
Another thing the blockchain could fix.
Like there should be class action lawsuits the world around. Like I just, well, now that I understand why, like, I date a lot of white girls and I also like try to talk to black girls, and I'm like slowly realizing why they're so different, because if depending on how frequently they use social media, the algorithm is feeding them different shit and enforcing different beliefs.
That's interesting. So you think the algorithms are influencing different races too? Races,
genders, creeds, social genres. Like that's why you have like, you're not a real metalhead if you don't listen to this band. And you like it's creating factions and like hierarchies within people in general. Like
so what are the differences you've noticed between white girls and black girls based off of?
Black girls lately have become like thoroughly superficial and like no morals, like whatsoever. They're fucking for the fee.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I know it's a general statement, but the more black girls I talk to, the more I understand like, oh, you looking for a come up. Like that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for love. You're not looking for companionship. You're looking for a fucking come up.
Yeah.
The white girls that are blatantly looking at social media, they're the worst. Like they're like, especially the super liberal ones, like they have their fingers in their ear. La 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 la. I'm right. You're wrong. La 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 la. You're a piece of shit. You're a misogynist. Like no. Like I'm trying to tell you and show you. Like I'm trying to understand your mindset.
That's what I've noticed. I noticed you can't even talk to people about these things anymore. Like they're so rooted in their own like mentality that if you have an open mind, like trying to understand their view, then when it's time for them to hear you, they don't even hear it.
Yeah.
All they can hear is like what they want to say.
Yeah. And especially with like, so like Facebook, you have this option to post a Facebook status, which is text. Me not understanding that people can interpret what you type in different ways. I've gotten a lot of backlash for various amounts of things that I've posted on Facebook to the point to where I just stopped giving a fuck. If you're offended, you're offended. Like I use social media as a vetting process to see who I really want in my life and who I don't. Because if you're one of these instantaneous idiots that are willing to write somebody out of your life because they said one thing that you didn't like and you didn't have a conversation with them about it, I don't need you.
Yeah.
I don't need you around. Like I thought we were friends. A friend would come to me and say like, hey, you posted this. I really didn't like it. Like, where's your head at? What are you thinking? What's going on? And I'm like, oh no, that's complete misunderstanding. This is a song quote, or this is a movie quote, or this is me like being drunk and stupid at the bar at a night or something like that. Like,
I'll tell you when I deleted Facebook, because I don't have Facebook anymore.
Gotcha.
But one of my buddies, I forgot what I actually posted. I forgot what it's even about, but he commented on the post, and it's a really good friend of mine, commented on the post. And then I sent him a direct message, and I was like, hey man, do you have an issue with like what I posted? Let's call me and let's talk about it. And he's like, no, if you want to talk about it, we can do it on Facebook so that everyone can see it. And I was like, so I know that my opinion is unpopular for this social media platform. So if I know that if I comment on this, it's going to just make me look really bad. Mm-hmm. But you and I are friends, so we could actually have a conversation about this. And he's like, well, I don't want to talk about it unless you put it on there so everyone can see it. And I was like, so basically you just want me to get blasted on social media.
Yeah, and he wants some like social media win over you.
Yeah. And I was like, no, this is not going to happen. So I blocked him. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm deleting Facebook altogether.
Yeah. I only use it because it's connected to so many of my other accounts.
Why use it for the bar? The bar is like what I use it for.
I mean, yeah, you should. Like social media is only a way to sell you more crap. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like that's legit all it fucking is, to make you feel less in, for you to buy things to fill the fucking void in your heart.
Another bar, no, look, come out and drink.
Hey, come to this bar. It's great. Like I've never had a bad experience at this bar except whenever I was dating one of the regulars, but that's about it.
But no, that's advertising in general, you know? Like advertising in general is using social media it's free advertising if you think about it. Like, yes, we're giving them our keystrokes and stuff, but at the same time, it does help grow a business, but it does manipulate the average human because we're also using the algorithms to manipulate people.
When the bar I used to work at, the manager at the time told me, it's like all social media is manipulation to people to what you want them to do.
Yeah.
That's all it is. If you look at all of our posts for the bar, we only post shit that we know works. Mm-hmm. We only post the girls at the bar that people come to see. He gave me the whole rundown. I was like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Yeah, I'm at the point I don't believe nothing I see on social media at all.
But it's good that you can see this. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why other people can't see it.
They don't want to. They don't fucking want to believe that they're being manipulated. Right. They don't want to believe that some of the choices they've made in their lives aren't their own. Like you've been coerced and forced into that. Like I don't have any respect for people that are willfully ignorant. Mm-hmm. Like those are the people who are like, no, I don't care about you. You're a capitalist drone. And like, I know like inherently nothing's wrong with capitalism because capitalism is put in place to make people have the choice to decide where their dollar goes. All these like Amazon's killing baby dolphins, stop shopping at Amazon collectively. Everybody, but you're still gonna do it. You're still gonna get online and order your shit.
Because it's easy. It's convenient.
That's the thing. You do the shit that's hard because it's right. Like you don't do the shit that's easy because it's easy. You do the shit that's hard because it's right.
Yeah.
If you don't want people to suffer because of the choices that you make, you got to do the hard thing. Like I'm a fucking truck driver. I'm gonna let you know it's decent money. Mm-hmm. But it fucking sucks. The way people treat you, the way people look down on you because like you're working with your hands and you're doing physical labor. I deal with that shit every day. It sucks. But me not having any fucking pride and knowing I got to do what I have to do as a man to make sure I can provide for myself and my family, I don't give a shit what y'all think. But where was I going with this?
No, dude, that is so admirable.
Like
that's being a man.
Like and that's the thing. That's a huge beef I have with society as a whole. Y'all don't want men anymore. Y'all want these like complacent, agreeable bitches that are going to have us fucking hailing our corporate overlords sooner or later. I don't like that. It's going to take real fucking men to see the bullshit happening, to want the bullshit to fucking stop and rally us to get it to fucking stop. That's what it's gonna fucking take. These fucking soy boys, and I know people are gonna hate that term, but these fucking complacent ass soy boys, that these sensitive ass dudes, they're gonna end up getting us fucking killed. Like that's what's really gonna happen. Like you can slowly but surely see them selling us to China. Like you can see that shit happening slowly but surely, and nobody's like, wait. Because in China, they have the whole social credit score thing. Their air is fucking toxic as shit. You can't have more than one daughter. How is that right?
Well, it was that way.
Yeah, I hope it's not that way anymore.
So it's not that way anymore. Like a lot of people think that we have too many humans on this planet. Okay.
We're not overpopulated. We just don't use our resources properly.
Well, no, even like the overpopulated issue that's at hand, like the argument is there's too many humans, but there's not enough people being made right now. There's not enough babies being born. Okay. To take care of the next generation. So this is the way our system is set up is you have a group of people that come along, right? A generation of people, and they pay into Social Security. Okay. And then these people get older, and then you have the next group of people that come through and they pay into Social Security, which actually takes care of the older people. Okay. So the issue that we're having right now is we have a really large group of older people that are getting ready to start drawing their Social Security. However, we don't have enough people being born to take care of those people. So we actually have a declining population.
I mean, and it makes sense though. Like I don't blame girls for not wanting to have kids.
Now this world sucks. Like why would you want to bring a kid?
The air is toxic. The ocean's toxic. Like
dude, that's why I consciously made a decision not to have kids too. Like I had a girlfriend that was trying to get me to knock her up. You know, she was ready to she was ready to move up to the next level. Right. And I get it. I understand like the cycle of life, but I was like, I don't want to do it because this world is shit.
Yeah.
And like if I'm like you, I would be a good father. You know, I would be trying to take care of my kid and my wife, but I don't want to be that. Right. With me not having kids, now I have an ability to take a step back and look at the world as if it's my kid. So the world is now my baby, and I have a responsibility to take care of that rather than just one other human being.
Yeah.
So that's why I do what I do. You know, when I do this research and I go and like try to build systems that can actually like help the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's because this is my baby and I want to make sure it's taken care of before I leave.
Yeah. No, like with you saying all that, with you conscientiously making the choice not to have kids and not follow the established order, do you have any fears personally about being labeled like a domestic terrorist or a threat to democracy or anything like, cause you know it's coming.
So 100%. I am a threat to this system.
I mean, I am too.
And I will say it, I'll say it proudly because this system is broken.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
And if you don't see that it's fucked.
So I am a threat to the established order. Yes. But what I'm trying to do is build a system that is correct for every other human on this planet, that not just for the elites, that works for everyone. And I think the way to do it is to use blockchain. And I think you need to remove the algorithms from social media. And I also think that you need to check your politicians. So we need to have an open, transparent, we do have a transparent system, but no one's paying attention to it because it's not easily accessible. I think that if you could make the political game right here on your phone, that way everyone who goes home at night can check and see what the politicians are doing. That's an easy way to do it right there.
Dude, make an app that's like DraftKings, but for politics.
Exactly. 100%. And like you can use the established format that we already have. So right now we're all used to high school, right? Where you have a grading system, A, B, C, D, E, or F, whatever it is. But you basically grade politicians. So if the politicians do not vote the way their constituents want them to vote, then you give them a bad grade. That way, when it comes time for elections, all you have to do is open your phone, look at what your grade your politician has, and say, well, it's time for you to go.
Yeah. No, I thought, dude, in all honesty, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but if it was up to me, there'd still be public executions in the streets. There would probably still be like, this person has been prosecuted and tried, and we have irrefutable proofs that he is responsible for treason, larceny, money laundering, arms dealing, and he has to be hung. And
man, honestly, if there's irrefutable proof, I'm not about the witch hunt. Fuck the witch hunt. I want proof that you did this. I want people that are around you that allowed this to fucking happen to suffer the fucking consequences. So I think we're entering into a new era with AI, right? And I think that's going to put a damper on that. So I think because with AI, have you seen the Morgan Freeman video?
I've seen a Morgan. I don't know if it's the Morgan Freeman video.
It's like a white dude that is talking in front of a camera, and AI goes
deep
and
fakes.
Yeah, deep fakes. Yeah. So I think that's the issue with like the irrefutable proof stuff. Because like most people want to see, you're going to see videos of it, right? So AI can actually build these videos now. So that's the issue with that. But I'm if that wasn't the case, I would say yes. Like kill them in public, let everyone know what it's like. And my opinion now is chop a finger off. Yeah. That way you don't actually kill them, but you hurt them a little bit.
I don't know. Some of them need to die. Some of them.
Well,
not all. but some.
But how do you know though? How do you know what's real anymore?
I mean, whenever you got people dying and they're like, instead of giving these money to all these people that actually need it in our country, let's send it to Ukraine so they can do their whole roundabout money laundering.
But who do you kill for that?
Everybody involved. Everybody.
So like all of Congress?
I mean, in all honesty, I want to say yes. Cause like
that would
we need a good reset.
I mean, that would correct the system really fast.
We need a good hard reset.
But I think you can do it in a more intelligent way than just murdering everyone. I think that if you oversee the system.
That's the thing. Like who it's the thing. Who watches the Watchmen?
What do you mean?
Who watches the Watchmen?
So if the Watchmen is blockchain, it's a transparent system.
Are you willing to give up that much like a responsibility and faith to the AI? Like, are you at that point now?
Well, here's what I think. So the system that I've been working on for quite a while now, what I think you could do is put it on the blockchain. Anytime Congress goes to vote on anything, the people of the United States of America get to vote on it first. Okay. And that sets a baseline for the way Congress should vote. Okay. Then Congress goes to vote and you have a comparison mechanism to see who's voting for the people and who's voting against the people. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's how you regulate the system. So one of the issues with this is like now they're passing bills that have, 4,000 pages in the bills.
And they're slipping shit in there that we never fucking knew about.
So this is where AI comes in. Okay. AI, you have them scan the bills because AI can do this in 5 minutes.
Okay.
4,000 page bill, 5 minutes. And it can make a synopsis of like what this bill actually means. And it can actually pull out the parts that don't mean shit to the bill. And it can show you what's actually in there. So you use AI for that reason. And then you let AI upload as the oracle. So in smart contracts, the only people that can upload information to smart contracts are called oracles. And AI could be our oracle to take human error out of the entire equation. So you let AI scan the bills and tell you what's in them, and then you let humans vote on them, and then you have your comparison mechanism. So I think that it could be used for good stuff, but I think that it needs to be monitored as well.
Yeah. My only issue with that is I'm a huge sci-fi movie buff, iRobot, Terminator, all that shit. What like I will admit I have a massive fucking fear of an artificial intelligence realizing like, wait a minute, the base root of all these problems are humans.
Yeah.
That the common denominator in all these fucking issues is human existence.
Right.
So
no, I'm with you there. That's the whole thing that Elon says too. He says the same thing, but like the thing we're at right now is it's coming.
I know
it's coming. So either you get on board with it and we try to figure out a way to utilize it in a way that is safe, or we get overwhelmed by it.
Like,
and I think now we're at the time where if AI does get made, if AI does become like a huge part of our lives, which it's going to become.
Yeah.
If you have a government that is not trustworthy and is not held accountable for their actions, then they can use AI against the population. But if you have a population that is already using AI to help control the government, then you're basically using their weapon against them before they get a chance to use it.
Well, like if we did have the AI, would we really need a government in the first place?
I think you would always need humans to be running the show. So AI is just helping us run the show, but humans are actually voting on laws and changing the laws. AI is just helping us manage this the system that we have.
I don't know. I know it would take a lot of like groundwork and figures and profiting and everything, but I think we would have to figure out like which parts of the earth are like we should not live here. Like human beings should not live in these areas. And then we migrate people.
Because of climate?
Yeah, like because of climate, because of we need this forest to thrive, because of whatever. Like just because like which areas just don't make enough sense for human beings to live. Like Vegas. Nobody should fucking live in Vegas. It's the desert.
So I get what you're saying. There's a man named Nikola Tesla, though.
Yeah.
Everyone's familiar with Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, you should be.
The stuff that this guy was working on.
It's time.
Way ahead of his time.
Mind blowing shit.
But I think that we've stopped studying his work. And And I think that's a big key to like letting humans live on the entire planet. Because what he was doing, he was studying what I think he was studying in a way, was like magnetic field lines. Okay. So there are magnetic field lines all over the earth. And if you look at electromagnetism, what they're doing is that electromagnetism is coupling magnetic field lines with electricity. Okay. So if you take his tower that he made, it was actually sitting on a magnetic field line. And if you can pump electricity up a magnetic field line.
Not to cut you off, but there's a kid on TikTok that did this exact fucking thing that you're talking about. And guess where he is? No
Dead?
one knows.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he did step-by-step tutorials on how I built this, why I built this, and he let his followers know I'm going to be transmitting electricity at blah 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 standard Eastern time. If you made one of these coils by following my instructions, turn yours on. You'll get it. Like he did.
Dope.
He did it. There's that's the thing. I have a huge like love-hate relationship with Gen Z because some of these kids, although they're like thoroughly autistic and retarded, some of these kids are fucking brilliant.
Right.
Like we have bred some fucking brilliant children and they really want the world to change. Is that the established order doesn't want it to because there's no profit and peace. But like there's a lot of people just like you that know about Nikola Tesla and they have access to his like closed off documents and they've I don't even know if reverse engineering is a thing, but they've like seen some of his schematics. They've rebuilt some of his products. They've tried their damnedest to do what needs to be done with it. And I don't know what it is with like government officials or evil powers that be. There's the dude in Flint, Michigan that made water out of fucking air. And then he came back the next day and they destroyed his fucking machine.
I've seen that, yeah.
Dude, there's forces at work that want life to fucking suck. And those are the people that we need to eliminate. No fingers. No due process, like bye. Like,
yeah, there's a guy. So what I'm talking about is like if you use magnetic field lines to send the electricity from one magnetic field line to the other, because everything in our reality works as a torus field, right? So a torus field means that the Earth is right here around Earth. Magnetic field lines go like this right here on the Earth, right? So you send electricity from one to the next. There's a guy in California that made Nikola Tesla's towers, but he made them where you can transport them. He made them where you can...
Made them mobile?
He made them mobile. You put it in a car. You can put it like literally on a trailer and drive it behind a car. All you do is drive those to the magnetic field line locations, send electricity from one location to another.
Yeah.
Then you have electricity all around the Earth. And you're also boosting our magnetic field lines too. So when it comes to traveling through space, sometimes the magnetic fields will weaken, which will allow these cosmic particles to actually come down and hit the Earth more, which causes higher cancer rates and like higher mutations in your bodies. So when you're boosting your magnetic field lines with this system, it boosts the magnetic field so that the cosmic particles can't come into our atmosphere too.
Well, so wait, it's the cosmic particles that are giving us cancer?
Well, what's giving us cancer is sugar, essentially.
Yeah.
But cosmic rays and cosmic particles can cause mutations in our genes, which is not a bad thing when you think about it. If your body's healthy, it's not a bad thing because these mutations could actually benefit humanity. But when we're unhealthy, when we're not drinking enough water, like when we're drinking this right here, not drinking enough water, when we're eating junk food all the time, our bodies aren't healthy enough to repair that damage in the DNA. So you're not getting those good mutations, you're getting bad mutations. But if your entire like system is working perfectly, I think those mutations actually help you. But that's all just my theory.
I believe it. I can see it. Like I said, whenever COVID hit and then all those CIA documents and shit, one of the things that stood out to me is that through meditation and proper nourishment, like the human body does have the ability to heal itself at like just by putting the right stuff inside of it, taking care of yourself and everything like that. And like, there's like, we're capable of so much more than.
You seen the HemiSync documents?
Never seen that.
Okay. HemiSync documents are one of the CIA papers that got released. And basically they talk about how the government was testing meditation out of body experiences.
Oh, with the deformation chambers and stuff like.
I don't know about that, but they were testing this stuff. Basically they call it HemiSync because if you sync the two hemispheres of the brain together, then you reach this like area in the brain called the corpus callosum, which is also called Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay. And this area actually allows you to exit the body or like have these astral projections of yourself. And then when you come outside of your body, you can, you know, basically see the world in a different dimension.
Bro, the first time I ever did DMT,
You've done DMT?
I love like God, it's the best. Out of all the drugs in my life that I have tried, DMT is the one. That's the one. Bruh, when I tell you, like, I knew everything. I could see everything. I could, like,
You were connected with everything.
Bruh, like I thought it was all hype.
Yeah.
Like I went into it super skeptical, super like, this ain't gonna be, because I've done acid, I've done shrooms. They're okay. Acid's a trip, especially when you have a bad trip. But the first time I did DMT, at first I was terrified.
How did you do it? First of all,
with DMT, I
like how do you do it? So you like you someone told me one time you put like ash down and then you like put DMT on top of that.
So I did it with a random Tinder date. I did it with a random Tinder date on Valentine's Day.
Bro, that's some crazy. You went on a random Tinder date and did DMT with this person.
Yeah. Like there's a period in my life where I went like complete fuck it mode. Like I don't give a shit.
How does that even get brought up on a Tinder date?
We were there.
DMT?
We were like having sex one day and like she had this jar of weed above her bed. And I was like, where the fuck did you get that? And she was like, oh yeah, I got a guy in Colorado that sends me all types of shit. And I was like, what type of shit can he get? And she was like, anything. I was like, can you get DMT? He was like, I have it like right now. And I was like, if I come over for Valentine's Day, can we please do DMT? I've never done it in my life. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, it's been in my freezer forever. I was waiting for a special occasion to do it. And I'm like, yes. So yeah, she put it in her pipe. She did whatever she did. I wasn't watching, but she did whatever she did. We smoked it and like, oh my God.
How quick was it? It was over pretty fast, right?
It was over too fucking fast. I was so sad. At first I hated it. At first I was like fucking terrified. Like, what is that? I was like, I can remember telling her like, I want to be done. 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 It's very, but like the whole time she kept telling me, I got you. Don't worry. I got you. And like her voice like soothed me and calmed me down. And then like the fucking universe just fucking opened up to me. I'm like, and I remember telling her, it's like, bruh, if every person on the planet could feel this, could experience this, like we wouldn't have this. Like it was so fucking eye-opening. Like I felt as if, I don't know if it's real or not, but I felt as if I was traveling through different planes, different levels of existence, different, just like, I felt like I can go from here to Mars and beyond and like that. And it was such an eye-opening experience. And like it completely revamped my approach to people and life. Like I'm one of those people that's like, I used to be one of those people that's like, I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to stay alone. But like, I try to give everybody the same chance up until the point you piss me off. And I'm like, okay, I want nothing to do with you. But like that opened my heart. It opened my mind. It opened like, it let me know that I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right because there's something else beyond whatever the fuck this is. Yeah. That was my very first religious experience. Yeah. That was my very, like, I've been to church, like, I'm a black dude in the South. I've been to church all the fucking time. That was my very, like, how old was I when I did that? At 28. That was my very first, like, I talked to God. I saw God. I saw heaven. Like, there's more than us around. Like, it was amazing. It was fucking phenomenal. If you've never done it, I highly fucking recommend it. Get it from somebody that you can actually trust. Get it from a reputable source. But like psychedelics in general, like do them. Fucking do them. It like anything.
What's the reason they're illegal?
Dude, they don't want you to know. They don't want, like, bruh, peyote, I want that shit.
I've never done peyote. I've never done DMT. I'm a huge advocate for mushrooms. Yep. Not a big advocate for LSD. I've done it once or twice.
I've only done it twice. Well, yeah.
To me, like it has a chemical feel to it.
Yeah.
Even
feels
like
very artificial.
Even when you're doing it, it's like, holy shit, this is not, my body's like feels weird right now. But like mushrooms, they work.
I don't know why mushrooms just make me fucking horny for some reason.
Really? Yeah. I never got that. Actually,
mushrooms just make me fucking horny.
So this is a story. Okay, it's a weird story. Okay? I've never told this on the podcast. So this is gonna be
all right, here we go. Breaking the truth bombs.
No, it's about mushrooms. So one night I went to this girl's apartment, right?
Mhm.
And I had some mushrooms, and this girl's beautiful. Okay. So I go to this girl's apartment and I walk in there and we're going to do some mushrooms. That was our plan, right? So I go in there and the whole time I'm in there, like, I'm not even looking at her apartment. I'm just thinking, this girl's fucking hot, So then we pop one of the mushrooms. I just pop like a small dose. She pops a small dose too. And it's our first time to ever do mushrooms. And it was like the mushrooms turned off the part of my brain that's just like, I want to fuck this girl. I want to fuck this girl. That's all I was thinking about the whole time. Was this chick's so hot? And I actually saw the world for the way it really is. And I was looking around her house, and her house was the most disgusting fucking place I've ever in my life. Right? It was so disgusting. There was a dog in the corner. I didn't even see the dog there. There's a dog in the corner that was fucking like hacking up a lung. There's another dog there that I saw that one, but it had like the fucking mange or something. It was like scratching itself. And I was finally like, dude, I'm about to have a bad trip. Like, I don't even care about this chick anymore. I was like, this is about to get bad. So I get in the car and I never do this, but I drove from Metairie back to Mid City, which where I was living
on
at the time.
shrooms.
On shrooms,
I can never
bro.
drive on drugs,
Dude, it was a nightmare.
It sounds awful.
It was a nightmare, dude. Like, I immediately got back and I started watching a Jim Carrey movie, and Jim Carrey like pulled me back down to reality.
Okay, all right.
But dude, it was so crazy that like for me, it was an eye-opening experience because I was thinking about her vagina the entire time I was in there. So I was ignoring everything else in the room.
Wait, did y'all have sex?
We didn't have sex, no. Because I just knew I was in my brain. I was like, shit, dude, like what am I even doing right now? But like that's the animal brain talking to you. And when you take these mushrooms, you activate a higher level of your brain.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking as an animal anymore. Now you're thinking as a conscious human being.
Yeah.
And I think that some people that never take these substances and never take them right too. There's a right and wrong way to take mushrooms. But I think the people that don't take them right, they're always thinking as an animal. Like they're never over their animal instincts. Like eat, fuck, go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're thinking of survival wise. But if you can actually get over that aspect, and that's what mushrooms help me do. They've helped me like become a higher conscious human being.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like the last time I did mushrooms was New Year's last year. And like you eat one and you're like, I don't feel anything. And then you eat a little bit more and then I don't feel anything. And then you eat it a little bit more and you're like, okay, now I feel that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, all I want to do is fuck. Like, and it's weird for me to describe my first ever mushroom encounter because I know mushrooms are a fungus, but in my brain, it's like I could feel the fungus like growing and rewiring my brain and like changing things that it was different. Mushroom for me, mushrooms it goes mushrooms, acid, then.
But that's a real thing. Like mushrooms do rewire your brain.
Really?
100%. Yeah. That's why they're curing depression right now.
I could feel that shit. Like
that's nuts. You could actually feel it. That's crazy. But yeah, that's 100%. They're studying these things right now. And that's why it's curing people of depression, because what it's doing is going in and a lot of times if you do dark room tripping is what they call it. This is what I did. It's what like actually cured my depression. You go into a dark room, take some mushrooms, and then you go inside of yourself and you relive the traumatic experiences that you've had. And when you relive these traumatic experiences, the way the brain normally works is you take this memory out and you relive this memory experience, and then you refile that memory back in your brain. But when you take mushrooms, you take this memory out, you have this experience in a more vivid way than it actually even happened. So it's fucking scary as shit. But then your brain goes, it doesn't refile it. Yeah. So it's terrifying at the time that you're having it, but it stops. Like whatever was ailing you at that time, it's just gone.
Gotcha.
Poof.
Nah, like I don't know. I like the tea. I like to brew them into tea.
How do you do that?
I don't think I'm doing it right because I'll just make the tea and then put the shrooms in the tea and then start drinking the tea.
Right. So I've heard that heat kills psilocybin. So if you cool the tea first and then put the psilocybin in, I just eat them. So I've started microdosing. Yeah. I microdose every other day, and just like a little sliver. Like you can't even like feel the mushrooms in your body, but your body knows it's there. So it's almost like when people wake up every day and take their depression medication. Like if you just wake up every day and pop like a little sliver of mushroom, which costs nothing to grow or anything. And you can buy the spores online. You can go get Uncle Ben's rice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you guys how to do it. Buy the spores online.
Wait, is this legal for you to do this?
Why not? It's not legal to buy mushrooms.
Yeah, but you can buy
you can buy spores.
Yeah.
You can buy spores, and you can also buy Uncle Ben's rice.
Yeah,
that's legal. So buy the spores, buy Uncle Ben's rice, dump the spores in the Uncle Ben's rice. let it set for a couple of days.
Do you cook the rice?
No.
Don't cook the rice.
The mycelium will actually go into the rice, so it makes a cake. Okay. Then you take the cake out of the rice packet and you put it on some like, I forgot what this stuff's called, vermicide or something like that. You can buy it at Home Depot. You put this stuff, put it in a tub, and then spray it with water every day. Make sure it gets adequate sunlight.
That's it.
Spray water. Then you have your medicine right there, and it costs you maybe $20.
I'm all about the mushroom life, like especially if it doesn't like fuck me completely all the way up. But
Now, you wake up every day, just pull your little sliver off. What I do is I grind them up, and I shake like a little smidge every day. Eat it with an orange. Go about my day. My day's great.
my one of my other exes, she worked with a guy who grew them at his apartment or whatever. And she came home with him one night, and I was like, okay, fuck it, let's just get Domino's and put it on the pizza, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
Just like.
Yeah, I've heard people do it with like Mexican food. Take Mexican food and put it on there. Pizza.
Does it like? I'm not gonna lie. The taste of the mushrooms, I'm not a big fan of it.
It's not great.
Especially when they're dried. Like
That's why I eat them with oranges. Yeah, I'll take oranges and I'll just put my little mix on the orange and just eat the orange slice, and you can't taste anything.
yeah. But DMT, if you have access to DMT and you have somebody that's not lying, hot tops,
Well, so
fucking tops.
Dude, I had a guy one time that told me he had it, and he was like, "I'll pack you a bowl. You come over and smoke it." And I was thinking in my head, I was like, "Dude, because like in my head when I'm doing psychedelics, if I'm going deep, I'm like, do I really want to go deep right now? Like, what questions do I have for the universe? And if I don't have any questions for the universe, I know that it's going to be maybe a bad trip, not a bad trip, but I feel like when you do these substances, you're summoning entities that you can't see normally. And if you don't have something to ask these entities, they're going to make you pay for that. So I like to have questions I want to be answered before I actually go deep into these like sessions.
I can see that.
And especially like being around that guy, like I didn't really, like that guy wasn't, one of my friends. Like if it was one of my close friends, maybe I'll try it. But like, he was one of my close friends. So I was like, this might just be a weird situation to be in.
Yeah.
But if it's over quick, you said, right?
It's only about like 5 to 10 minutes. It's really over super. It's sad. And like, as it's becoming over, it's like, no, come back.
I really want to try it though.
Dude, I'm telling you, the first like 10 seconds of it, you're terrified. And then it goes and you're like, oh, especially if you have somebody that you know and trust around you, like you're good. Come down. I'm with you. Nothing's gonna happen to you. I think that's really what grounded to me. Like she was my shaman. She was my guide. If it wasn't for her constant like, you're good. Like I got you. You're good. If it wasn't for her doing that, I probably would have done something super stupid and I would have been arrested.
Jumped out the window.
Yeah, something like, bro. I was seeing shit that I wasn't supposed to see. I could see like the energy transfer throughout her body.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dude, it was amazing. It was a fucking. I feel as if I think like when people get their superpowers at first, that's how they feel. Because like, dude, I was like, holy shit.
Well, you mentioned peyote too. Have you done peyote?
I want to do peyote. Peyote's on my list. Like whenever my son's 18 and I have money that I don't want to use for anything, and I'm like selling off my worldly possessions, I'm traveling the world, doing all the things that I wanted to do. Because like you can't do it here in America, and even in Mexico, if you go, there's like specific ways you have to go about it to get it. Like you have to be like very subtle when asking for it.
So this is probably gonna get me in trouble too, because I'm 100% sure this podcast is gonna fucking go viral. The shit that we've said on this, like it's
I don't think so. I think people are just gonna be like,
there's sound bites for days, but okay. The people the people at my apartment complex, they're not going to ever watch this, hopefully. But I did a thing a while back, right? So one of my friends left town and he grew peyote. And when he's leaving town, he gives me a peyote cactus. Okay. So I'm horrible at growing things, but at my apartment complex, there are a lot of green thumb women there. Like they every day they wake up and they go take care of the plants. That's all they do. So I go up to one of them. I was like, hey, my buddy gave me this cactus. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to keep it alive. Do you think you could like nurse it back to health, keep it alive? And they're like, yeah, we can do that. They've been growing peyote for me for
I want it.
Like 6 months.
I want it.
If it survives this winter that we have, it's yours, man.
I want it.
Because
I want
like
it so much.
I don't even know how to like prepare it or anything, but this guy gave it to me, and these old women have been growing peyote for me.
There's a documentary on Hulu. It's from Vice, and there's like this chemist that goes around trying different psychedelics, and he does. I don't know the name of it, but you've probably seen it. And he goes around like analyzing their effects, learning about the history of them, and he does them.
That's dope.
And then he records himself while he's on them. So to show you, like he did this fucking fish toxin. Fucked him all up. Like,
how do you take it?
I forgot. I think you eat it. I think you like cook it and eat it. Like the toxins in the fish's skin, and you have to eat it and whatever. And like that was the thing that he did. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Like, how bad did it fuck you out? Like, what did it do?
Dude, he was like, it was like he was having withdrawals from heroin or something. Like it was.
Like the after effects were bad, like not the actual like dose.
But like it by watching him while he's on his trip, it doesn't look pleasant.
Right.
It doesn't look. It really looks like the toxin was killing him, and he just came back from life.
Well, I often wonder, like sometimes I've done mushrooms before, and I've had like panic attacks or anxiety attacks, and I wonder like if I'm doing that, if someone was actually watching me here, because I do a lot of these things alone. I don't do them like with anyone else around. I was like, if someone was watching right now, would they think that I'm dying?
Probably.
Because I've had a death experience before.
Really? How so?
Well, I've talked about this a couple times on here, but I'll tell you the story too. I think I might have told you this.
You can do a short one of it if you so, and like we can do a long-term one later.
So I went through this phase where I was sleep depriving myself. I was fasting and I was meditating like every single day. Right. So one day I went for 3 days. I was pushing my limits. So I went for 3 days and I was fasting in midday sun. And I had this experience where I like something in my head like got hit as I was meditating outside. And then I went back home to my apartment. And at my apartment, I was like, fuck, my arm is hurting. I was like, I'm having a heart attack. Because I heard that your left arm hurts when you're having a heart attack, right?
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to lay down on the bed. Let me just see if this goes away. And as I'm laying on the bed, my arm just starts hurting worse and worse. And I was like, should I text somebody and tell anyone that I'm having this issue? And I was like, you know what? No, if this is death, I'm going to accept it. And I accepted death and I laid there. And the next thing I know, these 3 orbs, black orbs, came out of my chest and started going in circles. Okay. And then my body started doing weird shit, man. Like I can't, my feet started paddling. My hands were doing this right here. That was an now called mudras, right? But I settled on this mudra right here, right above my chest. And this is also one that Andrew Tate does, which is a coincidence. But this happened like 3 or 4 years ago. Settled on this mudra right here. Feet are still paddling. And I started chanting, Om, Om. And then this white light shot into my chest. The black orbs dispersed. And then I woke up the next day.
The ritual was done.
And I was like, what the fuck was that, dude?
Yeah,
so I immediately texted one of my friends and I was like, yo, I think I had a heart attack. Because I thought I was having a heart attack, right? And the person was like, well, what are you doing right now? And I was like, well, I'm in the gym working out. And like, well, if you had a heart attack last night, you wouldn't be in the fucking gym working out. And I was like, well, I don't know what happened to me. And for the next like 3 days, I was visibly shaken. Like even the people at the bar, they were like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know what happened to me last night.
You met God.
And ever since then, I've been a totally different person.
You met God. You met God. You fucking met God. Like that. When I tell you I met DMT and it made me like completely just like, fuck all this shit. Like this is utter fucking bullshit.
None of it matters.
Like, especially like now that I turn, whenever you're like, in your teens and your 20s, it's always like get money, get laid, party all the time, have people like love you.
But what is that? That's the society telling you what to do, right?
That's just the pumping. That's just the pumping of the capitalist bullshit. That's all it is. Like, and once you counteract all that, you start to realize like, dude, I don't need sex. Like I'm fucking good. Who needs pregnancy scares? Who needs drama? Who needs 3 a.m. texts? Like, no. I don't need none of that. I'm trying to get right, like in my mind, in my soul, in my spirit, and hopefully infect the other people around me to show them like, this is how your life gets better.
Yeah.
This is how things progress for the better of everything. And for some reason, psychedelics just like shift all of your beliefs, all of that petty bullshit, all the fears and doubts and anxiety that you have holding within you. It just instantly like changes everything about it. That's why I realized like a lot of the shit that the government and the established order tells us is like fucking bullshit. You know what's right. You know what's real. You just don't want us to know because then you got to share or maybe it knocks you off your fucking pedestal. Like I'm a huge, like when you read about like the early 80s and the mid 70s where people putting like LSD on ATMs and shit like that. They knew what was up. They knew what was going on. Whenever people were like protesting against Vietnam, it's like, we had no fucking business being over there. Like here, take this acid trip and fucking chill out because that's what you should need to do. Like, that's really what you need to fucking be doing right now. We need to bring that shit back.
Bro, look at how it changed the Beatles. Like the Beatles before they did acid, totally different than the Beatles after they did acid. It changes your life when you do these things, man. It shows you that the world we live in is really nothing.
Like I don't know. It frustrates me that the majority of the populace doesn't see the veil that's being put over our eyes. And even whenever there's blatant evidence of it, and there's people that used to be a part of these factions and be a part of this established order telling you like, no, dude, you're being played. Like you're being fucking played. If that, like, for example, if I had somebody come to me at 15 and tell me like, okay, listen, kid, your parents are paying all your bills. You ain't got no responsibilities and no fucking obligations whatsoever. You're working at this bullshit job. Save all of that money. Fuck concert tickets. Fuck CDs. Fuck all that shit that you buy. Save all that fucking money. So in 2 years, whenever you're a full-fledged adult and your parents fucking kick you out permanently, you're good. You don't have to work for a solid year to 6 months max. You can read, pound books, establish relationships with like-minded people, figure out what it is that you actually want to fucking know and pursue that shit. Don't fall into because my biggest pitfall in my life is that I went to a bullshit college just to impress my parents, just so they can have a kid that was in college.
Right.
I had no idea what the fuck I wanted to study. I thought it was a complete taboo to be 18 and not know what the fuck you want to do. Like I felt like a loser. I felt like a complete fucking loser not knowing what the fuck it is I wanted to do. But no one ever comes to a certain person and tells them like, I succeeded. This is how you can succeed. Because the more you suffer, the stupider you are, the more resources there are for me. So we need more people more people with affluence and influence and power to want to enlighten other people. Like that, I really feel as if we need to hold our tech millionaires, our politicians, our teachers, especially the teachers. You know this shit is bullshit. You know what you're teaching these kids is bullshit. You know this. Why are you enforcing it? Why are you shoving the same crap down these kids' fucking throats? Like I got fucking TOR for telling another student in elementary school. It was like, actually,
What's TOR, by the way?
Timeout room.
Okay.
It was our version of detention.
Yeah.
I got this was when I was like maybe like 7th or 8th grade. I told another kid like, hey, actually, African tribes would sell their prisoners of war to Europeans, and that's pretty much where slavery came from. Like very seldomly did you ever see a European go to Africa, snatch up a bunch of people and come back over here. I got fucking destroyed. Like how fucking dare you say that black people wouldn't sell other black people? I'm like, y'all killing each other right fucking now.
Yeah.
Y'all doing it right fucking now. Like, dude, my teacher was like fucking mortified. That dude was fucking mortified. I was like, bruh, I'm sorry I read. I'm sorry I listen. I'm sorry I watch what's going on in the fucking world.
Well, you're able to critically think. I think this is the issue with the
There's no more critical thinking.
This is this issue with our current system is you have you have a school system that wants you to memorize and regurgitate. Because like you said earlier, they're trying to make employees rather than actual critical thinkers, because critical thinkers change systems to make systems work more efficiently. Okay. But if you have people that are memorize and regurgitate people, they go in and they work in factories, because if all I have to do is push this button and flip this thing all day, I can do that all day long.
Yeah.
Push the button, flip this thing, boom, done. Like that's what we're breeding as a society, rather than people that can actually make a better world for everyone.
Dude, and the more, especially like since Tulane and Loyola are right there, my first year or two was like, I'm new in the city. I don't know anybody. I'm gonna try to go out and make new friends and make new connections. And you talk to some of these people, I'm like, bro, you're just lost. You're just done.
Yeah, I'm thinking with adults too, man. Like I talk to some adults, and these adults, like, they have millions of dollars, like the guys I'm talking to, and they had no clue what it's like to even participate in life. And I'm like, so you have all this money because it was handed to you at one point in your life. And there's a big issue with that too, like how money's handed down through generations. Like this is something we're not taught about when you grow up like we did. You're not taught about these things, but what they do is they have life insurance policies. So they dump all their money into a fund, and they have a life insurance policy on every person in the family. Okay. So all throughout their life, if they want to start a new business, they can draw from that fund. Okay. And then they're drawing money from this main fund with all this money in it. And they're using this money to create businesses. Sometimes they succeed, sometimes they fail, but it doesn't really matter because whenever the individual dies, their life insurance policy goes back into the fund. So all the shit they do in their life, even if they make mistakes their entire life, it doesn't matter because when they die, all that money goes back.
Now, do you feel as if we should demonize them for having that knowledge or demonize ourselves for not having that access to that type of account? Because I didn't know any of that.
Right.
I didn't know fucking any of that.
Not many people do, man. Yeah. But I don't have that in my life, but I know this knowledge now because I went to the internet. I've looked this stuff up.
I have to go get me a life insurance policy after this.
100%, dude. Yeah. Even when it comes to like owning businesses, like a lot of these people who own businesses, what they do is they'll create a holding company. Okay. They'll create a trust fund. They'll create a holding company under the trust fund. The holding company is the like main wealth generator, but then they'll have all their LLCs under the holding company. Okay. So even if you're buying property, like you're buying like 10 houses, someone can sue you if you fuck up a house, right? They'll sue you. Well, if that house is under its own LLC, each house has its own LLC, then all you do is go, okay, well, that LLC is bankrupt now. So that LLC goes back to the bank, but it doesn't affect any of your other wealth. Like a lot of us, what we're taught is, when you buy something, you put it under yourself. You don't put it under LLC. You put it under yourself. And then if you get sued because of that thing happens, then the bank takes your house as well as all your other money. Like we have a system that's not set up to actually work for the people. We have a system that's set up to work for the people with knowledge. So if you don't have this knowledge from day one, of course you're going to fuck up and make mistakes and you're going to lose a lot of your shit. And the system that we live in, you'll lose all your shit. So that's why you need to create these holding companies to hold all your LLCs. That way, if one of the LLCs fuck up, your holding company is still fine because it's making all the money.
So that's the reason to have an LLC is to make sure the company itself takes the hit and not you personally.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then if you put all your money into that life insurance policy, and then all the money the holding company is actually making, dump that to a life insurance policy, which is also under another trust fund. Okay. Then all that money can go to your kids as they get older, and then whenever they die, that money goes back into the fund.
What?
So you're actually never spending any money. You're creating generational wealth over generational wealth over generational wealth.
I need to get a life insurance policy.
Dude, it's the entire system we live in is flawed. And yes, if you figure out a way to work the system, it works for you, but there's always going to be someone who doesn't know the knowledge. And that's such a complex system. And if we're creating people that can't think critically, then there's no way they're going to ever figure this shit out.
I think that's the point. I think that's
the
absolute point.
So my thing is like we need to create a system that's not as complex. That way everyone can participate in the game. Because right now we have a system that's so complex that there are many people that can't participate in it because there's just no way they're going to be able to figure all this shit out.
Yeah, because in all honesty, if I went home right now, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Right.
I wouldn't even know what book should I crack open first to get to that level? That is and nobody in my family, except for my corrupt fucking aunties and their bullshit, no one would be able to show me the step one to then jump off from wherever the fuck I'm at. Cause now that I've actively tried my best to understand money, the financial system, the economy, and why my family was poor and everything, and how do I get to a higher level and everything like that. It's just So first I got to dig myself out of this hole. Then I got to put myself into this hole. Then I got to work myself out of that one and then put my fingers in these pots and hope to God none of them fucking fail.
Yeah.
Like I'm starting from absolute fucking ground zero because I'm the type of person that I don't like partners. I don't like investors because there's very few people on the face of the planet that I feel as if I can trust. So me trying my best from ground fucking zero all on my own, trying to start like the next Instagram or something like that would be a very hard uphill battle.
Right.
You need the people that change the world need organizations. You need people to back you. You need people that will follow through with all the things they say. And I feel as if that's where we failed. Morality has been absolutely destroyed. It doesn't matter how you get it as long as you got it. So like you can have a closet full of baby dicks, but as long as you're a billionaire, everybody fucking loves you.
Yeah.
Like it's sick. It's fucking sick. Like I hate it.
I mean, it's true though. Yeah, you're right. Even the Elon Musk, like he had help when he was starting out. Like a lot of people think he came from nothing. No, this guy had help.
Yeah, of course. Like whenever Donald Trump was like, yeah, my dad gave me a small loan of $1 million. I'm like, my nigga, like what you mean a small loan? What the fuck do you mean a small loan of $1 million?
I mean, to him, that is a small loan. That's why.
Because you come from they come from an affluent family.
Yeah.
And so $1 million is nothing to them.
That's why in Congress, whenever they were giving out all the stimulus money, when the shutdown started happening,
That
like
shit
they were
pissed me
giving out
off.
so much
That
money,
shit pissed
and
me
like,
off
but
so
they
much.
thought that was nothing. They thought, well, we're just giving the peasants, like money to survive on. It's like, no, you're giving people the money they make in 2 weeks
Yeah.
in one fucking week.
Why
right
the
now.
fuck would I want to go back to work?
Yeah,
Why would I want to do that? Like,
that's how out of touch with reality these people are.
like, dude, whenever that happened, because I was in the service industry, I was working in a restaurant, I was panicking. I'm like, what do you mean y'all closed down? How am I gonna pay any of this shit? Oh yeah, just file for unemployment and we'll give you so y'all could have done this from the get-go. Y'all could have just been like, here's your extra like $1,500 to $2,000 a month. You could have done this from the get-go. Like there are so many brilliant people that are so afraid to take a chance on themselves just because they got to worry about how they're going to pay for the next month and the next month
pay
and the
rent,
next
pay
month.
food. Yeah,
If you would just fund them for 6 months, they don't have to worry about bills. They don't have to worry about food, transportation, anything like that. All they have to do is focus on what they're studying on.
Yeah.
The world will be such a fucking better
that's what I
place.
said, man. Like for every problem, there is a solution, but we're not letting those solutions be born.
It's sad, man. I don't know. Like I want to know what is the end game. I understand that there's across the globe different factions vying for different things and all that. I want to know ultimately what is the end game as far as the American civilization.
I've been asking this question for a long time. That was actually how I kind of like started questioning the government and stuff because I'm a big picture guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to take a step back and say, what is the goal of humans? And I think that we've lost sight of the end game of a goal. That's why I think Elon does come in and he does benefit us because he's actually giving us a goal. Go to Mars, right? That's a goal. Be a interplanetary species. Okay. But I think that for the longest time, the end game was lost to us because we're taught just to make money.
Yeah.
So like, what is the end game of this overall like system that we live in? I think it's just a corrupt system that people are just trying to make as much money as they can. And then they know they're going to die.
I mean, I don't know. With Elon Musk and his whole personal end game, like, I don't know, there's so much evidence to show like, hey, maybe humans came from Mars and we escaped to Earth. And why would we want to go back to Mars if we escaped? But
well, I think he knows something that we don't know.
oh yeah, anybody with more than fucking $500 million in their bank account knows so many things that we don't fucking know.
That's why, like, when it comes to like meeting with wealthy people, like I want to know what they know.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to know what you know financially. I want to know what you know about the world that I have no clue.
Yeah.
It's like why is Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk trying to get off the fucking planet?
They know something.
Why are they building bunkers?
Yeah.
Like what's their end game is to survive as long as they can because they know that life is finite and they have enough money to try to survive that long.
I mean, for me personally, if God's real and everything, I feel as if I've lived a semi-decent life. So hopefully I get into heaven. So in and out, like I'm all about the grand reset personally.
Do you believe in heaven?
I would much rather believe in Valhalla, but
I could see that with you too, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I would much rather believe in Valhalla, but I believe that one of two things happens. Well, one of three things. One, there is a heaven that we go to. Two, we get reincarnated. Or three, absolutely fucking nothing. Your fire is extinguished. You are done. But because I've done DMT, it's hard for me to believe like there's nothing.
Right. You know, well, even if you know physics, you know the energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Yeah.
So your energy that you are, because you're flesh and bone right now, but there's energy inside of you that is communicating with me.
I've always felt as if this is just a flesh vessel. I've always felt as if that's what this is.
So then there is something after this.
There has to be.
Whether we label it one thing or another, I think this is the problem with labels is when you say heaven, I think one thing. When you say heaven, someone else out there listening thinks another thing. You think another thing. You know, it's like heaven is a spectrum of things that you could think. But when you actually like break it down, we're all just energy. So when you leave this vessel, when your vessel dies, your energy dissipates back into the universe. So whatever the universe actually is heaven. So you're in heaven right now. You're just in heaven in human form.
Yeah. Which is not that stellar right now.
It could be better. It could be better.
No, it will. And the thing is, depending on how much the capitalist system stays and survives, in 2 years, I'll be done. And by done, I mean, I'll be completely out of debt to where I don't have to participate if I choose not to. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's where I'm trying to get at. I made a lot of bad financial decisions as a 20-something, and in 2 years, they'll be done. And hopefully I want to see the world. And in the event that I do die, I would like what God or Yahweh or whatever fucking entity is actually around. I want to know, where did we start? How do we get here? Why is everything so fucked up? Like I think that would be my heaven, is like a complete explanation for human existence.
What if the day you die, you enter a black room and you see yourself standing there?
I'd be so confused.
And he's like, I am Yahweh.
I'd be so confused.
And it's you.
I'd be so confused and so scared. And so like, no, I think I'd be pissed. Because if I'm God, that means I could have changed all of it. Like,
why can't you?
Because I don't want to, okay.
That's what I say to everyone. Like, why can't you change this? You are the God of your own reality. So why not just take control of it?
So, from my perspective, with all the collective knowledge that I have in my brain.
You've already changed your reality, bro. You come from nothing and you've made yourself into this man right here.
But like that was because of like, I'm not gonna lie, that came from like hate and anger and frustration and just like wanting to escape poverty. That like when you grow up around a bunch of dumbass niggas all your fucking life and you realize like, oh, y'all niggas are fucking dumb. Y'all are gonna die. I need to go. Like when you are raised in that environment and you're trying to, it's like, is it Socrates? It's either Socrates or Plato. There's this allegory with like this person discovers a light and he's like, hey, there's more to life.
Allegory of the cave.
Yeah, that. I lived that. I live in that. My family, they're the cave people. They are content with the cave. Don't fuck up their cave. I try my fucking damnedest to show them like, you don't have to live like this. There's a better life out there. You don't have to do this. And anytime I try to tell them, like, you think you uppity and you better than us. I'm like, no, it's not about being better than y'all at all. I want y'all to be better. Yeah. But yeah, anything. I live that shit every single day. And like, when you grow up in the Black American experience at the poverty level, and if you're like, I'm not gonna say that I'm smart, but if you're somewhat intelligent and you can look at context clues and see like cause and effect and everything like that, and you see people fucking destroying themselves over and over and over again, and you're like, it's the white man this, it's the white man that. I'm like, no, nigga, you made the choice to sell drugs. You got this job as a fucking dishwasher at Popeyes and never tried to do anything fucking else. You keep having sex without condoms and having babies without being able to pay for them. This all reverts back to you and your fucking poor choices. You are the reason why your life fucking sucks. It's not society. It's not the system. You conscientiously make the choice to make bad fucking choices. And it's hard to like get people to understand and admit that the problem comes from you. Like, it's so fucking hard to get people to realize that, to the point where I got to a point where I was like, y'all are basically just subhuman. You don't learn from your mistakes. You want to bitch and complain and blame everybody fucking else for the choices that you fucking make because you're afraid of like looking like a pussy or somebody saying that you're gay or somebody saying that you're broke or some like any of that shit. That's just name calling. It means nothing at the end of the day. If you have a thick skin, call me a loser, call me broke, call me stupid. Go ahead, do it. Nothing that you say fucking will affect my goals at the end of life and where I want to be. Nothing that you say will affect me whatsoever. It goes back to that whole bartender calling me a loser and me mentally being like, you're a whore. Like it goes back to that. When you know where it is you want to be and how it is you need to act to get to where you want to be in life, nothing is going to fucking stop you. My whole goal in life at this, I don't do like New Year's resolutions or absolutes or anything like that. I understand that in order for my life to get financially better and in the long run is that I have to stop spending my money on shitty stuff and I have to work at least 2 jobs to pay off my debts to get to a point to where almost $1,000 of my yearly earnings, monthly earnings are directly going to my paycheck and I'm not spending it on anything. I have to pay off my debts that I chose to get into and escape from this whole fucking process. I knew that. I don't blame like my parents had me when they were super young. I don't blame them. You're 18, you're going through puberty. Every cell in your body is telling you to fuck. And I get that. But I also understand like at no choice did either of my parents choose to wear a condom or at no point did either of my parents understand like, okay, I don't like you, you don't like me, but we brought this living being into existence and we want our best to not fuck him up like we are fucked up. I praise my baby mama for her understanding, like no matter what goes on between us, I want the best for him. Like she's dating somebody right now. I told her like, I don't want to meet this dude, but as long as he's happy and safe and thriving, I'm good. You get no problems out of me. You can date whoever the fuck you want to. Yeah. And it's just, it's hard and frustrating trying your best to look out for other people and them aggressively fighting against everything you're trying to show them. Once I realized like, oh, so the church is sucking money from you when it already knows that you come here because you're poor and depressed and they want tidings because they're like alleviating your poor depression. And I saw it as a scam. Flat out front. Like I think I was agnostic at like the age of 7. Mm-hmm. Like when that collection plate came around and I saw my mom putting $10 when I know we ain't got no fucking food in the house. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck you doing? Right. What the fuck are you doing? Like, how dare you? Like, how dare you give them our fucking money? Yeah. I'm starving.
That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Like, dude, I saw that shit and I was like, no. And like, whenever I've hung out with so many people from so many different walks of life. And the more and more I talk to them, I'm like, no, nigga, the problem is you. Mm-hmm. The problem is fucking you. You make shitty choices and then you blame everybody else for your shitty choices. You're shitty. Like, I don't know what else to fucking tell you. I've lost so many friends from being able to step back and assess situations and see the only reason I am where I am right now is because I've had so many prime examples of what I don't want to be.
Right.
And I don't want to be like super judgmental and on a pedestal, but like I've seen it. I've seen like you chose to do that cocaine. You chose to run drugs from Texas to Louisiana and you got your stupid ass fucking caught. You chose to have an illegal gun in your fucking car and then you got pulled over and you got fucking caught. You made these choices. If I'm a person, if the risk doesn't outweigh if the risk outweighs the reward, I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like if I'm gonna go to jail for the rest of my fucking life for having these fucking pills on me, get these pills fucking away from me. Like I don't want it. It all comes down to the individual, and then you can assess the whole. For me, like it took to the age of like 22 to realize that. That's why I choose my best.
That's impressive as shit. At 22, you were already thinking this way?
Oh, at 20, I've always been the black sheep. I've always been the weird black guy or the black dude that wanted to be white. It's like, no, I'm just not fucking dumb. Yeah. I can see your behaviors that lead to fucking oblivion. And I know that I don't want that for myself. Like I said, if y'all want to be stupid, more resources and money for me. If you want to choose to be willfully ignorant, I'm gonna let you do it. Like I'm not Captain Save a nigga anymore. I used to be that way, but I'm not about it anymore. If you want to be stupid, be stupid.
Dude, we're gonna make you a podcast. That's gonna be the name of the podcast. That's gonna be the name of the podcast.
Captain Save.
Dude, you need a podcast, bro. Like the shit that you're spitting right now is truth, man. Like literally, dude. Like what you're saying right now resonates. I know it resonates with so many people because it resonates with me. Like I get it, dude. Like you're a rare breed, my friend.
I mean, I feel as if I shouldn't be, but I know I am.
You are, man. Like I hear it when it comes out, when the words come out of your mouth, I'm like, dude, this guy's spitting truth. Like facts. Like you don't get that from many people nowadays. No, and I'm thankful that you are. I'm thankful that I ran into you.
That's good. I appreciate it, man. I'm thankful I'm doing this right now. Like I'm thankful I ran into you. Like I don't know. Like this is the bar closest to my house, so I always like dip in whenever I can. But like I work all the time, and because I'm a truck driver, I never know when I'm going to be home. So by the time I get home, I'm like, dude, I just want to go to sleep.
We gotta get you on the podcast, bro. We gotta get you one going.
Oh yeah, I'll come back for sure.
No, I'm saying we gotta get you one going.
Oh
because
really?
Your voices like you need to be heard. Because like, man, you're spitting the truth, bro, and you speak to an audience that I can't speak to.
Gotcha. I mean, I feel it. Like it's funny that you say this because like you're not the first person to tell me this.
Yeah.
But
no, we're gonna make it happen. Like I can make it happen for you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm all about it. Like if you want me to come here, I'm surprised you didn't have like another guest or something. I thought we were gonna like do like a rebuttal or
no, dude. So I realized a little while ago that whenever I have other people in here while we're doing a podcast, that it kind of takes away from my one-on-one experience. Gotcha. So I don't want to, the people that were here, I don't want to talk bad about them because I know they're going to listen to this. They listen to my stuff all the time. But I noticed that during the podcast, the one guest I had on kept looking over at the significant other. It was almost as for confirmation. Yeah. And I don't want that. I want to be one-on-one with people.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like to have other people in here when I'm doing the podcast now. Gotcha. It'd be cool to have a young Jamie one day, but but right now it's just me and you,
No, for me, I've had to live the low income Black experience, and I've had to see like this white dude don't want me to be like, no, it has nothing to do with your race. Mm-hmm. It has everything to do with your shitty fucking attitude and your poor work ethic. Like that's why your life is in the position that it is right now.
Well, it's not even just Black people. It's white people too. Like I come from a low income place in Arkansas, and a lot of people there, they turn to meth. Like meth is their drug of choice there because it's cheap. And you see people just ruin their lives over this shit, man. Mm-hmm. Meth, or now it's prescription pills too.
Yep.
I got friends from high school that they got hooked on prescription pills and ruined their entire fucking lives. It's the easy way out, because I think there are a lot more people that can see the flaws in the system that you and I can see. They just cope with them differently. You and I cope with them by working harder. Mm-hmm. Other people cope with them by checking out.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've done the drugs too, but I in the back of my mind, I know this cannot become a problem. Mm-hmm. I cannot afford for this to become a problem. I don't want this to become a problem. I will indulge myself. Like if I'm at a party and y'all passing out weed, give it to me. Let's go.
Yeah.
But there's a time and place for everything.
Yes.
If you're a habitual pill popper, you're killing yourself. If you're a habitual meth smoker, you're killing yourself. Like any and everything in excess will become a detriment to your existence. Mm-hmm. You should approach everything in small doses. Like I love being in the gym. I love working out. But when my muscles are like cracking or I'm pulling shit or I can't walk right, I'm like, okay, I'm working out
too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I used to go hardcore every single fucking day. And then I snap something in my shoulder. I'm like, oh, this sucks. It sucks. This is a sign that I need to chill.
That's what's going on with mine right now, too.
Dude, I hate it. I hate
this shoulder right here. It's kind of like
shoulder injuries are the fucking worst.
What were you doing when you did it?
I was when you pull like the pull up bar. Yeah. I was trying to hit back, and I did some weird fucking jerking motion that I shouldn't did, and that bitch snapped, and it hurt like a son of a bitch. Like right now with truck driving, my back is always in danger. Right now, I don't see myself driving trucks for too long because that shit takes its toll on you. It's the sitting and then standing up and then moving heavy shit and then sitting. For me, I think it's all the sitting, but yeah, the job will destroy your body if you let it. You have to have, if you ever drive trucks, make sure that you have a set amount of time in your life that you want to do that and then dip. Because it will, like, I look at my coworkers and I'm like, y'all are just grumpy old men that did this job for way too fucking long. And now your bodies are destroyed and now you're angry at the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's legit what it is.
It's a lot of jobs, man. People just get trapped in them.
And then, like, I was a sushi chef. I love the act and the history of rolling sushi. I hate the clientele. I fucking hate the clientele. I hate the hierarchy. I hate the management. Like the whole prestige of making food look like sexy and blah. Just give me my fucking food.
Yeah.
Man. Just give me my fucking food. Like I've always been that type of person, even working at restaurants. I'm like, I don't want none of that fluff.
Yeah.
Give me my food. Here's my money. Give me my fucking food.
That's me too, man. When it comes to eating, I'm just like, I just want to eat to survive. Like I don't need like even me with flavor. Like I love flavor, but at the same time, it's like I just need food in my stomach so I can keep going.
Nah, whenever I was working out hardcore, all I wanted was brown chicken and rice. I mean, brown rice and chicken. That's all I wanted. It's like, that's what I need. Give it to me right now.
Well, I think it's another thing too that changes your mentality is like having the mentality to overcome your digestive system. So I think a lot of people eat sugar all the time because their body's always telling them, hey, we're craving this.
Yeah.
But when you have that ability to shut down your monkey brain, for lack of a better term, your animal brain that's saying, hey, let's eat this because it's calorie dense. When you shut that down, you start just eating for survival. Then you're like, oh shit, well, I don't actually need all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like all I need is these things to survive. And it's like, it opens up another alleyway for you to think.
Yeah. For me, like one of my goals for this year, hopefully I follow through with it, was like minimal sugar, minimal carbs, and cheese. God, I love cheese, but it's so poisonous.
Cheese is good though.
It's so poisonous. It's not good for you.
Give me a chicken chimichanga lathered in cheese.
Dude, Company Burger down there. Oh,
What they got?
Dude, they got the Company Burger is like 2 patties of Kobe beef with on side cheese, and like you can add bacon to it, and they have these sweet pickles, like, bruh. And if you get like a cookies and cream milkshake with that bit, oh God.
So here's what we're doing after this. We're going to go down to Company Burger. one last time for the year, you know?
I can do that.
My treat. We're going to go down. We'll get us a burger. Whatever you just said, we're going to get that one right there.
Dude, I love it. It's crack. It's crack in between 2 buns.
Malcolm,
dude.
My guy, dude, this has been my favorite podcast.
Really?
So far. I promise you, dude.
Really?
I've enjoyed this so much.
Dude, it was fun. I got a lot of frustration out. Like,
I really do think we need to start you one though, because you have a voice that could touch so many people, like more than I can touch. So thank you for coming on today, brother.
I appreciate you inviting me, man. This has been fun. This has been fun as hell.
I'm gonna have you come on again too.
Okay, I'll come. I'll totally come.
Malcolm Ross, everyone. What is it again? What is it again on social media?
Black Magic @ BLAKKK _MAGIKKK on every platform @ Black Magic.
My man. Thank you, brother.